Good evening, and welcome to Iconic Productions Friday Night Show. I am Josh, the Dungeon Master and World Builder for a mostly 5th edition D&D campaign. It gets worse. With us tonight are Mary playing Elmania, the former Blue Dragonborn, now Raven Folk person. Grace playing Vera, the former crime grandma. I think this changes every time. Former crime grandma, now monk, rogue, thief person.
Still a crime grandma, technically. My grandsons are still in crime.
Retired. There we go. Retired crime. You get the picture. And Jenny playing Karina, who is also Rin, and maybe Talia if we can find her and she's still alive. We don't know.
And Shoji tonight.
What is it?
And Shoji tonight.
Probably Shoji as well. We unfortunately do not have other Jenny or Beth with us tonight, but hopefully next week. And without further ado, we're going to get back into when we last left our heroes. When we last left our heroes, you guys had finally made it back to Onashur after going on an in-game year and also very nearly a real-time year. After you left, trying to resurrect your friend Elmania. Oh my gosh, 40-some episodes ago.
Considering how much we don't like Vreem, we sure spent a lot of time going to Vreem and back.
Because you only do so many things without being in Vreem. Vreem is like where you have to do stuff.
You nearly died many times. Several of your party members did actually die. And one of them sacrificed herself in a bloody ritual. Fun stuff. Go watch the previous 40. What episode is this? Is this 47?
47.
This is 47. Cool. Go watch
no.
Episode.
46. Because last episode didn't happen.
What happened?
We've been having this argument for a while, guys. It's fine.
No, they've been having the argument. The argument has been decided. Anyway, you made it back to Onashur, and your Jaeger companions, your your slime person companion, split with the 2 Vreeman squads that you guys had journeyed to Onashur with. They went off to accomplish whatever their mission was, and you guys made contact with somebody that Vera's son had sent to retrieve you. Said contact, Grady, the Mayweather family magic user, led you guys through the city. You didn't come across anything terribly aggressive, but you did see that small sections of the city and individual houses had been boarded up and burned down with their occupants inside. You saw those few people that you did see were gaunt and underfed and lurking in alleys or quickly closing their windows as you guys came past. Led you into the Slacks, which when you left were fully controlled by the Mayweather family, but the Mayweathers seem to have been pushed back quite a bit, and eventually Grady led you into a sort of compound guarded by halflings, couple humans, some half-orcs, other races scattered here and there, but it is the vast majority of the people here were halflings, both guards and it looked like children and civilian families, all tucked into a section of the neighborhood that had been closed off by barricades between houses. You guys met with Benji, Vera's son, who seemed to be wrapping up the day's business, dispatching orders. You guys delivered all, how many pounds does your
500.
500. Yeah, about, and what was the split there? Was it fully 500 pounds of food?
Damn.
Well, except for the gold. Yeah,
Except
we
for the
tried to
gold, yeah.
clear as much, yeah.
Several hundred pounds of food you guys unloaded, and it was quickly distributed and not distributed, the opposite, consolidated somewhere else in a storeroom. And you guys had a quick conversation with Benji. conversation was mostly between Benji and Vera, and angry words were definitely delivered in one direction, and Vera tried to mollify her son somewhat. Limited success. And you guys were given a place to stay. Most of you, all of the Jaegers, Shoji, and all of the Jaegers
Almanya.
and Elmania. No, I thought Elmania stayed in the storeroom.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
on the
gosh.
storeroom with us
Never
now.
mind.
All went off to the actual kind of bunkhouse, while Elmania, Vera, and Talia, nope, not Talia, sorry,
Karina.
I'm looking at your nameplate, and actually really Rin at this point, because you have
Yeah.
fully transformed into your alter ego, and Oth all slept in the storeroom.
Yeah, I asked off for a pillow, and he said that it would burn my face off. So
If you tried to cuddle his squishy body.
Yeah, don't
That's
do that.
sad. I want to give him a hug.
You can give him a hug, just don't like rest your head against him and go to sleep and have your head like sink into his body. So I believe we left off as you guys all woke up in the morning. Your sleep was occasionally interrupted by what you recognized as the hunting cry of a ghoul, but you were unmolested through the night. Those of you who slept in the storeroom didn't get a great night's sleep. I think Vera and Karina and Elmania, all of you have a 1 point of exhaustion, but you have otherwise gained all the benefits of a long rest. So you've got all your hit points back, you've got all your spell slots back, etc.
all 4 of them.
All 4 of them.
I'm so sorry. Could you remind me mechanically what just 1 point of exhaustion does again? I'm sure you've done
Disadvantage
this.
on ability checks.
Okay.
Disadvantage on ability checks. So any skill check that you're going to use will have disadvantage.
Okay.
So, as you guys kind of rubbing your eyes, right, walk out of the storeroom, Grady informs you that Benji has business throughout the day and is gone and has left no instructions for you guys. So for the time being, the day is yours.
Well, that's grand. Anybody know where you can get a drink in this place?
Snowdrop.
Place?
I'm not sure that in this particular situation, alcohol is available. I suspect it might be more for medical uses.
Maybe we can get some really cheap, salty wine. I'd be fine with that.
We can certainly ask. Just can I go to the barracks where the general population is? I mean, can we meet up with Shoji and everybody? At least
Yeah,
where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we can just say that everybody has gathered. Shoji has delivered the information that she gathered the previous night. She had asked around to figure out like what the hell happened. And essentially the story that she told you guys was that the cult of Illyrial started to spread and people were really nervous about it, but it was otherwise fine. And then that kind of turned, people started to disappear. A few weeks later, more ghouls than usual started to harass the city. Kind of the 2 organizations that otherwise would have dealt with it, both the Death Watch and the Verminocitors guilds, were hard pressed for a while, and then eventually they were actually taken out. And then ghouls really just started coming out at night, and eventually kind of territory here in the Slacks was pushed from all sides, and now also monsters are just coming out of the sewers all over the place.
Oh, well, that explains, like, that answers that question that I was going to ask then about why doesn't a decent resistance have a passage through the sewers, but whatever.
Can I look around and just see, based on what I can observe and maybe ask a few questions, how are they distributing rations here? Is it centralized?
Yeah, it looks like there are people who are assigned to keeping track of supplies and then actually going around and distributing them. So there's not like a, it's not a soup kitchen. There's not everybody comes to one place to eat and then disperse. Everybody seems to have duties, and so as they are performing those, some people are carrying around like packs filled with the dry rations and just passing them out to the people on duty.
So that means that just looking around, there aren't just civilians sitting around, as in the civilians also have something to do.
Nobody's really sitting around. It looks like most people are, doing one job or another. Most of it seems to be, there are groups like cataloging supplies. There are groups cataloging the armory. There are people adding to the armory. They're taking reclaimed wood and turning it into crude but functional arrows. People trying to using what scraps of metal are available to fashion like iron banded shields and things like that. There's just a lot of activity. Vera, if you would go ahead and give me a quick insight check.
And this would be at disadvantage still?
At disadvantage, yes.
Alrighty. Advantage. Well, neither were great, but 14.
14. From what you've seen, a lot of this stuff is extra, but the work is keeping people busy.
Extra as in?
As in, everybody seems to, like, everybody who is armed seems to be armed with what they're going to need. Like, it's not like some people have some shoddy weapons and then others are totally without. Everybody who is armed has plenty of armament on them. So there's nobody standing around waiting for those shields, but that work of making them is keeping people busy. They're generating surplus supplies, but.
Oh, I forgot to ask. In the last session, Vera, did you figure out what happened to your granddaughter?
I haven't yet. Haven't asked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are 2 people I need to contact. But
Josh, is my family's house in the area that's still run by the Mayweathers or not?
No, so I've shared a number of maps with you guys. So if you to you at home, I don't know how clear any of these are going to show up to you, but so if you guys take a look at your map, you guys are more or less in the central slacks, but your home neighborhood is in the Cataract District.
Right.
And you have a zoomed in map of that as well that also shows you kind of where in the city that neighborhood is. You guys all see that?
Yep.
Yeah, I just am seeing now that you have it with like our encounters from like the first
from your
little bit ago, and it's just
patrol.
terrifying.
Here's where you died.
No, this is before that. So
Okay, so there's a snowdrop. Oh, okay. So I lived like right next to the snowdrop. Sweet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And that area is now ghoul infested. No, maybe. There isn't anything in that space. It looks like it's probably ghoul infested. I want to go to my house, but.
yes. Well, also, didn't have the notebook, but I did contact Talia and got a mysterious message.
Yeah, the message you got was super garbled and strange and nonsensical.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
That being said, it did mention with Sam Velhane. However, And I can be just talking to the group about this. I'll tell them what the message was. Could you say the message again? I know it might be deep in your notes. I would have written it down.
But she didn't have her notebook.
But I didn't, which is why the last episode never happened.
Right. We all died in the sea. All in sequence. Great.
Yes, I will search for that. You guys can.
Thank you.
So if you're talking about Talia, like Rin at this point, I guess, is going to ask you, like, who's that?
She came with us from Onisha originally when we left the first time. But her family was in danger, as she knew that they were, so she had to return here. But I promised to find her again. And I had a message. She's not dead. She's, I think, here in the city.
Yeah. Well, is she any use, or is she just sort of one of those types who doesn't do anything?
She's a powerful magic user. She'd be very useful and clearly resourceful enough to have survived this long. I think, again, I think I need to ask around for more information, but it seems to me that if Sam Valheim is still alive and if Talia is with him, two ifs, it would be better if we were all working together. It would be better if every single person in the city who is not a ghoul and perhaps not a cultist were working together.
Well, I mean, yes, that's the best solution, but what it seems to me that you have here is a revolution, really. So that's what needs to happen, at least. And it's never been very effective, at least in my personal experience. But this Sam Valheim person, he's one of the brass, so to speak, yes?
Well, one of the original, who knows who's, well, no one is in charge of the city, but he would have had resources, he would have had, frankly, should have had troops. But it appears, again, I need to ask more, but that the different areas of the city have lost contact. But you've had some sort of experience with revolutions. I don't know if it's much a revolution as a resistance from inside.
It's the same difference, really. It's just that, you see, where I come from, the brass tend to be involved with the side that we're resisting.
Precisely.
So,
This,
what is the nature of this Sam Valheim, Claire?
I'll be perfectly honest. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I know everybody else seemed to like him a rather good deal.
Yeah, but Mom, I don't think you like anybody secretly.
Debatable. I like all of you rather a lot.
Well, thank you. But I do find myself very likable, so.
But it does seem to me that, frankly, the sides here are perhaps both more clear and more complicated than in other resistances. The sides here are quite simply the living and the dead. And Sam Valheim, I presume, is alive. And frankly, I don't care if I agree with him on anything else, except that we need to fight the cultists and the ghouls. And whoever this Marianne is, and whoever the rest of them are, if they are living beings, I am willing to talk to them. And frankly, I think we must.
Well, I understand that the dead versus the undead may be a bit of a touchy subject amongst this group.
Nah, it's fine.
We just look at Shoji.
I'm looking, like, Rin is looking straight at Almania.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
good.
Oh, man, this entire group is so messed up. But keep going on.
I was
and-
really undead. I've just been dead and not dead. So we're good. You're fine. Have fun.
That's what you say. That's fine, dear. And you, Almania, you said you want to go see your family, but
the reason I'm here.
But I don't know how to put this in a sort of more delicate way. But you said you had a different body before, so how are you going to convince them that they're actually their daughter and not just some raven lunatic?
I have
Raven lunatic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for picking up on my pun, Grace. I appreciate that.
Vera did not say that out loud. Vera's not a pun fan.
Well, as
Grace is.
Manya gets to level up, I can take a message, and then I'm planning on sending, or I get sending, and then I'm going to plan on basically sending the magical messages so they know it's me. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And they may decide to toss me out, but at some point, I just need to make sure that they're okay, because even if they don't care, I do.
That's
Right.
exactly what I've been saying.
You know, I don't know if my sister's going to be disappointed or really excited that I'm not a Dragonborn anymore, because then I'm just like one less person she's got to take down to, you know, take over as the head of the household eventually. So that could be fun for her. But I'm pretty sure my little brother will know it's me pretty quickly, but he's always been smart.
Well, I shall be grateful that I don't have any siblings to have that sort of fight with, I suppose. Well, I'm here to support. I will help. I would be happy to assist any of your sons, Mrs. Mayweather, in the safeguarding of the city and the.
You're
I said,
very kind. Rin, at this point.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're both the same person. It's just this is a more comfortable guise for me right now.
You don't have a preference. I'd be happy to call you what you wish.
Not really. It's honestly like I'm the same. It's just, you know, her persona is a little bit more refined. And I'm much more one of the lads. So,
well, either one. We thank you very much. It isn't your fight. And frankly, Almanya, I suppose it is more yours. I mean, you are from Onisha.
Yeah, Mom, we need to talk timeline. We need to figure out what the plan is, because
I know.
siblings are going to be going to their trials.
I know. And I think we must get more information, but it did seem suspiciously easy to get here. As in, we weren't being mobbed by ghouls in the streets getting from at least from the docks to this place.
Oh, so you're talking about after we docked, because I thought it was extremely difficult to get here.
Yes. I was talking simply within the bounds of the city. Transportation was easier, perhaps, than even I was expecting. But here's a question. Sorry, Josh. Are the docks literally the only way in and out of the city, or are there...
No,
you can leave by land.
Yeah, there are a number of gates.
We left by gate to get to the tower.
Yeah,
Or
so I'm thinking,
we have to go to my family's house
and get the pylon if it's still there.
from my brother's room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless he took it with him.
I highly doubt he did, but I mean, that's the hope. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't. He was studying it for a while, but I doubt he would have been able to get to the Dragonborn place with it, noticing.
I must say that if we had that and could get it back here to this compound, that is worth everything. It's transport out of here.
Yeah. We need
It's supplies. I agree entirely. Here's a question. So I know that I am going to at least try to get to Samwell Haynes. Do you think we could try, again, I'm going to speak to people who have more experience traveling the city at this time, going to your family's house along the way?
My family's house is on the way to there.
Yes, I agree. But I think we need to determine just how foolhardy that particular journey would be. Night or day, I strongly suspect not night would be best. And to get as much information on the path as we can. But I agree with you. Pylon and Sambalhain. And I will try and get you out of here as soon as I can, but I cannot leave things here the way they are.
Even if we could set up something, like if we could give them use of the pylons, they can get people out and then we leave.
Agreed. Agreed. What did we call it? Plan Z?
Plan Z, let's go get an island and start our own colony.
It's at least something. But
Plan. It may not be the best plan, but it's a plan.
And I've been rightly accused of leaving. And I can't leave again until I've fixed some of it.
Well, I think getting them a pylon and a way to get out would be a lot.
True.
But I don't know what there is that you could do past that.
I don't know what my sons want. I don't know. They want this city back. They want the city back. And
Everybody wants the city back.
Doesn't apply to Plan Z.
Yeah, well, we'll have to figure it out. But I think our first plan of action is finding the pylon, getting everyone out of here.
The pylon and Sambalhain. Yes, Rin.
You keep talking about this pylon. I don't understand.
Goodness,
What
this
you
was
mean
long
by
ago.
It was before I died.
Yes, we had a bit of an adventure before Almania's death. We went out to a ancient watchtower outside of the city to do a job as essentially a Jaeger party, I suppose. But we happened to discover these ancient tunnels underneath the watchtower, and we found this set of pylons that had transportation magic in them. They were broken in some manner, and so the transportation could be a little unpredictable. But once we found the pattern, they actually led to many places all over, who knows where, but they do lead us out of the city. And at least one could go out and get supplies and come back in. There is a pattern to be discovered that one can go from one place to the other.
Well, if that is possible, that is significant.
I know, it's beyond.
Yeah.
I agree.
If lucky, my brother might have left his notes on it too.
Agreed.
He was taking a bunch.
As we're journeying through the town to get to your brother's house and to the Sambalhain, like what sort of, besides the ghouls, I mean, obviously, but like, does your guard employ the sort of constructs that we have in my own city? You know, the big giant tin suits that go around and knock the ever-loving stuff out of people.
If we had those, maybe we wouldn't have been overrun by ghouls and cultists. Wouldn't that
That
have been?
certainly sounds useful.
I mean, a little bit of lightning and they're all dead, but, you know.
True. But I agree. I think we should ask around as best we can, get a feel for what we might encounter. Perhaps find some people who have arrived here more recently. They might have more information.
Not to put too fine a point on it, Mrs. Mayweather, but where the hell do you think they'd arrive from?
Well, we saw people on our way here. People still living in the city.
Right, I thought you were talking about people that came from outside the city like us.
Oh, no, I meant these halflings. I meant these Onthurians. They might have come from other neighborhoods. We are known to the halfling all over the neighborhoods of Onisha, not merely in the Slacks. They might have heard they could find safety with us.
You know, You know, I like that, especially since, well, where I come from, there's the gnomes and the dwarves, and the gnomes are those who should be protected, and the dwarves are a bunch of assholes. But I'm glad that you have a dynamic like that. That's something that I'm used to and something that I enjoy. So,
Well, we've
the wee ones.
yes, we've had rather a experience, as you probably know. It's the groups of people are less stratified here at Onisher, I suppose, than what you're describing, but there's always conflict. And usually halflings are not on the powerful end of it.
Well, as long as you're not slaves, yeah? I mean,
No.
No. So I'm gonna just start looking for new-ish arrivals and asking just lay of the land. What can we expect going through these neighborhoods? Day, night, what would be best? Are we insane? Yes, we're gonna get that answer. And if I try and work my way up to more like an officer, I guess is the best way I could describe it. That would be good. But
Josh-
starting with the civilians.
Josh, what's that building in the council district that's surrounded by water?
So that's actually just just super fancy park. That's just open grass that kind of there's like walkways out into this field, and then these like smaller little things with benches and ducks.
Nice. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, it looks kind of like a park. I just want to make sure it wasn't like, no, that's a magical tower that none of you have asked about before. And I'd be like, oh, it's there.
The wizard tower that's always been there in the middle of the city. I can't believe it.
Oh,
Don't talk about wizard towers. We've had some past trauma about wizard towers. Just don't bring it up.
Okay. So first, I could not find where I had written Talia's sending response, and I may have accidentally deleted the file. So I pulled up last episode and listened to it. So
I wondered what you were doing with your headphones.
no,
I'm
I thought at first that you had said it had like just been sent to all of us while like Vera and I were talking, and suddenly this message was just like blah. I was like, oh my gosh, like
this is the benefit. I mean, there are a lot of drawbacks to streaming your campaign, but this is one of just the wonderful benefits where it's like, I lost my notes, but I don't need them because it's recorded. Anyway, I shared it with you. Let me know if you need me to do that again. It should have popped up.
No, it's here.
Is
Yeah.
it in the cool?
Fantasy grounds.
So
cool.
the sending that you got back from Talia was Ma betrayed, stay everything away fine, come with Sam Valhain back soon, familiar red, safe at goddess us Sam Valhains.
Yeah, safe at
so like we really needed that, you know.
So the funny thing about this is that, like, should we go to Sam Valhain's or not? I'm going to say it's worth a shot.
Vera's gonna ask around and try to get some information.
Yeah.
What are you others doing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to get to my house. I'm gonna see if I can ask around about if anybody is like going between the different districts and see if there's some kind of system for that currently, or if it's like, nope, we stick to our district, we never leave these like this boundary. I'd like to start asking around to see if there's like any way to really travel aside from just like me walking there, which I would hate to do at this point, but you know, I gotta get to my family's house. Welcome to my parents' house.
I'm going to go talk to Off and ask him everything he knows about the ghouls, looking specifically for like areas where they're vulnerable or things that might work better versus things that don't work as good, with the intention of relaying that information to Benji. Because Karina / Rin is just really throwing herself into this resistance effort.
My notes just say Off, and then at the top it says I love him. So
That's all we need to know.
yeah, Off, I
Right.
love him.
And he seems like the best person to actually know things.
Let me get Vera and Almania to each roll persuasion checks with disadvantage, because you are
Oh.
exhausted.
Rude, but fair.
Indeed.
And Rin, great question. I don't know what Oth knows about ghouls, so I'm gonna roll real quick. Oth knows.
He's an expert.
Well, you know, he knows some stuff. Let me forgot what
Oth,
his
ghoul
modifier-
hunter.
Hell yeah.
My special.
Is that terrible movie like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter or something like that? That's what this is.
I'm just gonna not. You talk to Oth, Rin.
First, but
Oth knows a little bit. Sunlight sensitivity. They do poorly in sunlight, tends to blind them. They generally just don't like it. So if you want to avoid them, travel in sunlight. If you want to take a really favorable fight with them, do it in sunlight. He has heard that some people with a strong enough faith have been able to drive them away. Not fight them so much, just scare them. They do not seem to like faith magic. And yeah, that's mostly it as far as general weaknesses and strategies for ghouls that Oth knows.
Okay, excellent. So she has a couple of follow-up questions. One is, does he know of any way of storing sunlight and using it as a weapon? Which sounds crazy, but she has heard of things like that. And the second question would be, well, there's actually two kind of in this one, but is, first of all, like, do they extra hate people who use divine magic? Because that seems to be a problem. And secondly, second part of that then is, what if like good magic is used on them? So if they were the target of, say, a healing spell, does he know if that would be a bad thing, or would they actually benefit from that?
Oth seems a little confused at your use of the term good magic. He doesn't quite understand what that.
So like the divine stuff ish, the faith-based, like you said, that if people's faith are strong enough, they run away from them.
Yes,
That
but
kind of magic.
those who you might call good are equally as capable of faith as those you might call evil. Faith is
Well, I mean, that's
unlocked.
interesting. I've had a lot of debates lately, well, over the past while, about good versus evil and whatever the hell that's supposed to mean anyway. But so you're saying that if someone who is supposedly like bad or evil was to come and use their divine faith-based magic on them, they would still run away from that too?
Quite possibly. I do not know the precise mechanism by which those of faith chase them away, but there is some sort of radiance that they possess.
Interesting.
I see. I know of no reason that one alignment of faith would be less able to drive them away than not. It has something to do with their undead nature.
Interesting. What about the healing though? What if like a real live person they bleed and you give them a little buzz of the magic. You know, you can do that too. I've seen you do it. But you give them a little buzz of the magic and then they feel better. So if you did that to one of these undead creatures, would they feel bad?
That is an experiment I have wished to try for a long time. Should you get the opportunity to attempt to heal undead flesh, please take notes.
But why don't you do it yourself?
I don't see any ghouls.
Well, I have it on good authority. We can find some. Do you want to go find some?
I would prefer to stay here.
Well, you're no fun.
I can defend myself, and I wish to protect the eye herein. However, you seem to be seeking danger, and that is not in my wheelhouse.
But what about for the fun of it? For the excitement? For the research? Off?
Research.
If a slime could be making a face like he would be making it. Rin, give me a persuasion check with advantage.
So just a straight roll then, since I'm exhausted?
Yes.
Like tempting a scientist into the jungle. Come find the mysterious poisonous snakes that you study.
But if you come with us, you could try to heal an undead. Come on. 14. That is tempting. And should you bring any back, any still animated ghouls, I will happily cast my healing magic on them.
Don't waste a spell slot, my dude. For science. Heck yeah, science.
You know, I like you a lot, Off. That's you're a good man slime thing.
I am a slime.
Excellent. Well, you're a delightful slime.
That's going on the t-shirt too.
I want to hug off. I want to hug.
You're a delightful slime.
You're a delightful slime. All right. Vera, what'd you roll on your persuasion?
Not great. 9.
9. Most people seem pretty busy. And I'm going to carry over your earlier insight check. You get the sense that some of them are not supposed to talk to you. And are afraid of you. Your mom Mayweather.
So they've been, do I get the impression, I don't know if this will take another insight check, when I notice that they've been ordered not to talk to me in particular?
You can't quite tell. There seems to be you get the sense that it's like this person has the information you're looking for, but they're not going to give it to you. And they're a little nervous about not doing so, but they're sticking to it. I will allow you, if you want, to leverage your status as Ma Mayweather if you wanted to re-roll that as an intimidation check.
Depends on who the person I'm talking to is.
Who would you like to attempt to intimidate?
If it's clearly a junior gang member, I would. If it's just some rando civilian who's here for protection, I wouldn't.
Okay, yeah. You can collar one of the halflings who's basically walking around with like this like one strap bag and like reaching in and pulling out like dried food and biscuits and passing it out to others. You can see most people are essentially like taking the biscuits and like sticking it in a tin of water and like swishing it around a little bit.
Hardtack.
So can I just come up behind him and just like really gently take his elbow? And I'm little for a halfling, so he has to lean down a little bit. So like the same difference between a tall human and a small human.
Yeah. He
And I'll just
turns around. He turns around and like slaps your hand a little bit and goes, "No, I already gave."
Hello, son. May I ask you a quick question? Did you ever meet my son Lyle?
Oh dear.
Do you ever wonder where he got it from? Smart lad. We need to come talk.
He looks scared. It's quite delightful.
Yes.
Poor boy.
And I'll just tug him by the elbow and be like tugging him aside a little bit. Shall I roll?
Okay.
Did it work?
No, I mean he's frozen. He's a deer in the headlights at the moment.
Still with disadvantage. This exhaustion thing sucks.
Intimidation still with disadvantage.
Ooh, it actually wasn't terrible.
Yeah. So what questions are you putting to him?
I'm putting to him specifically in the direction that we need to go based on the map. So through the cataracts into the upper class area. Sorry, I don't have the map right in front of me right now. Just what the streets are like in daylight, if he's been out. And sorry, my audio cut out. What threats we should expect to see. And just generally, if we're going to make an expedition, how could we be as prepared as possible? Even stuff that he might have heard from others.
You really shouldn't go out. I mean, during the day, the streets are pretty clear. People going about some of their business, but mostly staying at home and, holds up like a chunk of the food, starving. People get attacked by the day. The kobolds on one side, and the cult is everywhere. And the ghouls even come out during the day sometimes. I don't think you really shouldn't go out.
You go far, I like you. One more question. Yeah. Where do your loyalties lie?
With Mayweather's.
And I just reach out and pat him on the cheek. It's the right answer. And then I will walk away.
You walk away and you hear like this, almost like somebody slipping on gravel. And you kind of look back and he has like caught himself on a nearby building and is like you've been a terror in the slacks for over 100 years. Alrighty.
Josh.
Yes.
Sorry. Austin answer my question about catching sunlight.
Good point.
Oh, he did not. He can cause a lot of fire. He does not know how to capture sunlight.
Okay. But has he heard of it happening? That was really more what I was asking. Like, does he know if it's possible?
In very old tales, yes, but mostly pre-fall scripture that is mostly incomplete.
Interesting. We will have to talk about some of that pre-fall scripture that is incomplete, my friend.
I would love that.
Excellent.
And Elmania, you were looking for specifically a way through to the Cataract District, and whether people ever like went out that way.
Yeah. And I rolled a 22 persuasion.
And she rolled crazy high bard powers.
You got a 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly what you find is the best way around is the long way. If you can get through, basically heading east, through the, where's my other map? If you head, I'm sorry, if you head west through the plaza and lakeside and you can convince the council district to allow you in, then just kind of going around the city is the safest way there. If you don't mind, you know, running into the cult or monsters or ghouls, I mean, the Slacks is actually in one small part adjacent to the Cataract District. You could honestly just walk through.
How long of a walk?
From where you guys are, probably 20, 25 minutes.
Okay. And if I do mind cultists and ghouls, you said that is there like people who will take you through those areas?
Not really. Not unless you're on a job for Benji or Junior.
Okay.
It is interesting, real quick to you, Vera. Most people here refer to him as Gideon. Only Benji and Grady, who have been, I mean, Benji is biologically part of the family, and Grady's been with the family forever. Only they still refer to him as Junior. Elmania. It really just looks like if you're on a job, then yeah, you'll have a squad with you depending on the job. But there is nobody currently organizing shuttles among the various neighborhoods. Most have withdrawn into themselves, with the exception of plenty of halflings, mostly from the hangars, have withdrawn to the Slacks.
Okay. Great. I relay all of that to Ma.
Okay. So you guys reconvene with the information that you have you've picked out.
Yeah.
Sorry, just looking at the maps, do I know what the brass are, capital B?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I mean, they're a gang, aren't they?
Yeah, both the brass and the angels are gangs. Neither of them have operations nearly as large as yours. For the Mayweathers, they have been allowed to exist, mostly as fall guys in case you need them.
So I've got some contacts with them?
You're not sure. There was no, to your knowledge, there has not been an actual war since the old days. You've never been on friendly terms with them because they know that you guys pin things on them. So there's a lot of, you know, stabbing in alleys and organized fights and things like that. But not all out war, and you guys aren't really, I would say you guys are more like in the period after the Cuban Missile Crisis, where it's like, we've set up communications and they exist. We're definitely not friends.
Red telephone. We've got a red telephone.
Yes, that now exists where previously it didn't. So there was communication when you were in charge. There was not friendship or regular talks or things like that.
And unless I'm reading a map wrong, which is entirely possible because Grace herself cannot read maps to save her life, they are directly the corridor leading to the cataracts.
Oh, the brass. I'm sorry. Yes. You pass through brass territory to get to the cataracts.
If we were taking the straight route, not the around route.
Both the brass and the angels are considered, you know, big folk gangs. The brass is mostly humans with a mixture of half orcs, and the angels are almost entirely tieflings.
Okay.
Chiefs. Where about the Dragonborn? Have we seen any Dragonborn since we got here?
You have
Or are they
not.
just, are they just holed up in the consulate? I bet they're just holed up in the consulate.
Also, Almania, if you're looking for Dragonborn here, let's just say we don't have friendly diplomatic relations with the hegemony, considering certain activities.
I entirely agree that we probably don't have friends among the Dragonborns. I'm not saying that. I'm curious
Yes.
what the heck happened to them, because there's an entire consulate here, and normally there are Dragonborn around, and so
Yes,
it's
I
just
mean,
not
in
seeing it.
in our compound,
Yeah.
would be extremely unlikely to find one.
I more just meant like on the way from the docks to here, and
True.
like I haven't seen any Dragonborn, and that's strange to me. That
Yes.
they're-
Well,
But-
and it is worth noting that when we left Onashur, the lift down to the docks was manned by two very
wasn't
pale, poor Dragonborn slaves.
Right. Good point.
I like look back and kind of like wiggle my tail feathers a little bit, like, well, I still got my tail. Kind
We
of
do
fun.
indeed.
Yeah.
We did used to have some old some members who were, shall we say, former hegemony, but they lacked that.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they've gotten to. Who knows?
Knowing the Dragonborn, they probably got every Dragonborn they could find with their tails still and shipped them all back
Right. And killed the rest.
and killed the rest.
Almania,
Yeah.
you may take an inspiration die.
Yay!
As far as you know, that is exactly what the hegemony probably did. If it looked like things were going super downhill and there was no control, round up all of the Dragonborn with their tails, all non-slaves, and ship them back.
Nice.
Almania, that is a curious question. I will admit that my hegemony politics might be several years out of date since I've been in business, certainly before this blood goddess.
Well, you're with an expert, sort of, and an
That's
expert
what I
on
thought.
before the hegemony was around. Liana pipes him in the background, like, yeah.
But perhaps I'm mistaken. I thought this was the hegemony.
No, this is not the
No.
No, not at all. The hegemony is
No, the blood cult, the
Oh,
disease, the blood magic. I thought this was them. I thought this was an invasion. I thought this was, I'm sorry, I thought this was Dragonborn.
Oh no, Illyrial has nothing to do with the Dragonborn. Illyrial is like this iteration. Illyrial is an iteration of the Blood God, at least as far as I understand it. There is the Blood God and the Dragonborn. The hegemony is pretty chill with that. But Illyrial is kind of its own sect, as far as I understand it, and doesn't have a lot to do with the actual Blood God, like the person who is walking the earth, who's walking.
Yes.
So yeah, this iteration, this cult specifically, doesn't have anything to do with the actual original religion around the Blood God. So
I know that because this
From what
cult of
you guys
Illyrial thing is new.
Yeah.
I meant the very beginning, the breaking of the moon, the fall of Worcestershire, the attack on the festival where we all met. I suppose I assumed this was Dragonborn.
I don't think the hegemony had anything to actually do with the attack on the festival. I think that was kind of a side thing that happened. It was a correlation, like a causation sort of thing, but it wasn't orchestrated. If
so
that makes
out of game, I just would like to remind us that the man who is doing all of the gross stuff at our first encounter there at the feast was speaking Draconic.
Yeah, that's why I always thought this was Serana V.
Yeah, I assumed that he was kind of possessed in that moment. In my mind, he wasn't like, I don't think it was orchestrated. This is part of a hegemony colony, if I remember correctly. The hegemony has roots here. It wouldn't make sense for them to throw in something that would kill off a city that they were trying to actively work with. We had a whole consulate here. There is a whole consulate here, which we should probably go and check out. Honestly, they might have supplies that was left behind. Because I used to go to the consulate all the time as a kid, but they were actively working in this city, and it wouldn't make sense for them to try and destroy it along the way while they were sending out people to live here and build up Dragonborn relations here.
Almania, give me a quick, actually, either of you can give me a quick history check.
How am I on history?
Yeah, I'm not great.
Although, Almania, you could use your inspiration to cancel out this disadvantage if you wanted.
That's true. I have a +0. How about you, Vera?
I'm a +2. Not great, but
You should do it then.
I'll try
you
it.
can both do it, right? It's a history check, so you're each accessing your individual knowledge of history.
Right. Because I'm also no. Yikes.
That's a 2.
You guys know about what you know.
Yeah, because
I know a fair amount about what the hegemony was doing in there anyway, just because I was Dragonborn and my family was one of the families that was sent there to kind of populate the area and work with the city. Like they were like decently well off. Like they did a lot of work like in the city to try and like help with the Dragonborn, like kind of building a group there. So it wouldn't make sense for them to like try and sabotage all of that work that they were doing. I think it kind of just happened, and I don't think anybody expected what happened in Worcestershire to have that much of an impact here, at least not that quickly.
I think perhaps we're making the mistake of assuming that the hegemony is united. The hegemony official could indeed be keeping their consulates, could be acting in appropriate diplomatic manners, but this goddess and her cult could be entirely separate.
I mean, that's also true. Just because the Dragonborn do something doesn't mean that they always think through the implications of what's going to happen afterwards. This is just, this kind of happens sometimes. So it could be, but we should go check out the consulate. We might be able to find some information there.
Right. It seems from my impression that this, I suppose I had always assumed that this was an invasion, the same as it was for our sister city.
I don't think so. It never really felt that way, at least not from what I understood. I feel like my sister would have mentioned that. She would have touted it around if she had been like, look, we're invading a city. It would have been like all over my house, but she never mentioned anything about that. So, you know.
She really would have, wouldn't she?
She would have, she's very proud of being a Dragonborn. She like, I don't think of Talsha as being like an evil person. I think she's incredibly stuck up, and I think she's just like very proud of her heritage, and she's been fed all of the stuff about like how great the Dragonborn are, and look at how like good we are, and look at what we're doing for this world, et cetera, et cetera.
But
and,
didn't she also want to be a blood priestess?
I thought she's like
blood priestess, because that was like the highest you could go, and so she was like, God damn it, why wasn't I a blood priestess? Like, how dare you? I would have killed all of you in trial by combat. And we're all like, oh, would you have though? Are you sure about that, sweetie?
But then, like, my question with that, Mary, is don't you then know that, like,
that's why I'm
of the ghouls is linked to the blood god if your sister wanted to be a blood priestess? I'm just...
Yeah, so like my point is that I don't think the ghouls here were like sent here by the Dragonborn to destroy this city. I think this was all kind of a causation that was not actually like expected that this would happen here. It was like, oh, we'll have the blood god and stuff like that will happen, et cetera, et cetera. And then it was, oh God, things got out of hand very quickly. And now we got to go like head back to the hegemony and figure out what to do next. I think that was kind of like the way that it worked. I don't think they went, aha, we will get the blood god and then there will be a ghoul uprising and then everyone will die. I don't think that was their original plan. So I think this was all kind of an after effect that they're dealing with as much as I was. But yeah, I feel like I would have heard if it was like, look, we're invading a city, because I would have heard it from my sister and been like, yeah, bullshit. Let's like go talk about this, you stupid idiot. I love you, but God damn it.
That's actually an interesting question, because we've been in Worcestershire and probably no one else here has. Is there any sign, from what we can tell from what people are talking about, of the blood harvesting that we were seeing there, and the sort of where people couldn't stop bleeding and all of that stuff, the deliberate blood harvesting? I mean, we know there's the disease.
Oh, that's right. So yeah. No, blood clotting seems, you haven't heard anything about like blood clotting like suddenly not working anymore. It does sound like most of the city has withdrawn into various like makeshift compounds and camps. You have not heard anything that they're like being organized into the like chattel camps that you guys found yourselves in Worcestershire. Yeah, the city seems to be falling apart from within, and everybody is retracting to their own safe zone.
But there doesn't seem to be a director of it. Like when we were in Worcestershire, we saw like there were some top dogs there who were dragonborn blood priestesses, etc., who were bleeding people and whatever. So from what we have heard, there doesn't seem to be a blood priest on the ground here who is trying to pull the same crap.
No, No, the cult does not seem to have any key figure.
Right. And we're talking this is the Serana V cult, not the Illyrial cult. Like, who knows?
I mean, you don't know of any existing Serana V cult in Onashur. You guys found an altar on your first patrol, which Cormyr smashed and destroyed, but you guys left like a few weeks after that and didn't see anything similar in that time.
But we are seeing I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. It's late-ish. I'm tired. But the name of the disease, the plague.
Oh, the Red Harvest.
The Red Harvest, which we have seen in all the places that we have been. I got it, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's what Cormyr had, presumably, was something like that.
Yeah, you guys did not see it at all in the Empire.
Yeah, it wasn't in Bream. It was in Worcestershire.
But yeah, you guys saw it plenty in Worcestershire, and yeah, a little bit in Onashur, but that was just from when Cormyr smashed the altar. You guys killed the priests.
But the priest and everything, because this is important, spoke Draconic, because that's why Talia was thinking there was a link between the Dragonborn and the Blood Cult, is because every priest that we saw was speaking in Draconic.
I just always thought that had to do with them actually worshiping the blood god, and the blood god is Draconic. And so I always assume that like you get in too deep, you suddenly start spouting words in tongues, and like that's just kind of how it goes.
Who knows? But yeah, it doesn't seem like, just from what we're hearing, that Onashur it's not behaving in exactly the same way that Worcestershire seems to have gone. And also just based off of the rumors that we heard from all the mercenaries coming back from Worcestershire, with telling what happened. This is different-ish.
Where on the map, Josh, is the consulate?
It's in the council district.
It's in the okay. We should stop by the consulate. I don't know, but we may be able to find something interesting.
So, because we heard rumors from Worcestershire, like, oh, ghouls are popping up everywhere. But we also heard we've been invaded by Vreem, and then there were a pile of blood priests who took over the city.
Yes.
Ish. That's what we heard from Worcestershire.
Well, from what you heard from Worcestershire was that Vreem attacked Worcestershire, and then it was and the Dragonborn defended it, but it was destroyed.
What stuff would I have been told at the consulate? What stuff would I have like heard among the Dragonborn?
Not much.
How much?
Yeah, if you'll remember the one time in game that you went to the consulate, it's not a place that you hang out.
Right, but I went there with my sister. I mentioned that once during a break. You said, "What do you guys want to do?" And I said, "I probably end up at the consulate with my sister." Like at one point.
They're
So
not.
Would I have heard anything? Okay. I didn't know if there were like any whispers about like, did you hear what was going on in Worcestershire? Like, this is what we understand. These are the things that are going on. If that was something we would have heard, like if that was kind of a common thing going on.
Yeah. No, they would not have had much to say
Okay.
about it.
Interesting. Well, yeah. The Dragonborn are funny. They're weird. But that's why we have to go and get things back.
But it seems to me like we need to know if we're going to free this city, if we're going to form some sort of resistance, we need to know what we're resisting. And if there's someone else behind this curtain, if there's some root cause of this.
Because I assume Zamvalhain would know.
Well, friends, this is what I've learned. If you fight the ghouls in the sunlight, it's better for you and worse for them.
Oh,
I love this practical planning.
Rin walks into the room at this point.
Good.
Rin has been in the room. You guys have all convened.
Oh, we're all back. Okay.
We should go to my house. We should go stop by my house, and then we should go to Sam Vilhain's, and then we should go to the consulate.
And then we should be back here before dark.
And we should be back
that's very important.
for tea and dinner, and maybe some supper, and possibly some 11sies. Let's go.
Can I ask a quick question? Sorry, before we go, is anybody in our little Jaeger party of the people we've collected Dragonborn?
Oh, I don't.
I think we had a dwarf and a tiefling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I don't think we had a dragonborn.
I
know
got
Dragonborn codes, though.
and a dwarf.
But maybe I'm wondering if that's a good thing. Depending on what people have seen, they might be inclined to not trust Dragonborn. I'm sorry, Almania.
But she's not dragonborn anymore.
I know you're not Dragonborn. That's why it's a good thing.
Oh, I see.
Guilty, but yes, let's go.
Yeah. There.
I can imagine people would resent, like, oh, the Dragonborn got all shipped out before this all went to crap.
Probably. It spells out.
It's like people it's like when the EU comes in or different countries come in and take out only their own citizens out of a war zone, and everyone else is like, what the crap?
Yeah, pretty much.
Happened in Rwanda.
So, who are you guys taking with you, first of all?
The cleric. The paladin.
Oh, that's true. Damia has potential family to visit.
And then there was also a paladin,
powers.
right?
Yeah, I want everybody with divine magic.
So Damia needs to get to Bedraggled Cross.
Okay.
Where's that?
Which is
It's like straight east from the Cataracts District from my house. Like if you go straight east from my house, you have to pass Riston Point and then you get to Bedraggled Cross.
Okay, so she can come with us that far. And then we can make a decision. We'll at least get her part of the way.
And your paladin, whose name is Atienritza, is also needs to get to the Cataract District. So
sweet.
Awesome.
So you guys are bringing them.
And what about our dwarf with the high level wizard spell stuff?
I like
Wizard.
Yeah, like her.
Your dwarf with the high level wizard stuff?
Yeah, you said we had like an 8th level spellcaster that was a dwarf, right?
No, that was Captain Mala. She was.
And she's the one that died.
He got killed with the was it the Silence of Night?
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine.
I've got.
Let's just take the highest level people we have after our various divine magic.
But your Jaegers are done, and they're working on their own business. They were
Right.
their job was essentially, look, we'll get you to Unisher, and then we got our own.
Alrighty.
I'm
I'm curious to know what they're doing.
I mean, if you want to ask them, you're welcome to.
I totally will. I mean, like, we're literally in a, like, during the war Stalingrad right now.
Yeah, who's excited?
So, why the heck did you come here?
Malky Franklin, the dwarf. Whoops, no, that's a half elf. Whoops, where's your oh, I'm sorry, Sroot.
Shroot?
Sroot, S-R-U-T.
Okay, I thought you were making an Office reference, which would be great, but
Actually, do you have a dwarf? Sorry, Sroot is human.
yeah, we totally had a dwarf.
You said is the one that died when the Silence of Night died.
I thought
Oh,
there
was
was
that Captain
Was there
Miller?
another one?
Isn't the paladin a dwarf? Because I always pictured him as a dwarf. I don't know why.
No, the paladin. You haven't really actually spoken with the paladin at all. But
Off screen. Off screen.
What up, man?
You guys spent two and a half days on a boat. Like
I was about to say that. Like, we know each other.
She's a half elf.
What?
No.
Hold on.
But yeah, like, why the heck are you guys in Stalingrad right now? Or why would you voluntarily go to Stalingrad?
Well, I mean, they didn't know the state of the city. Only you guys did. So, the party, Constantine, Damia, Oth. Yeah, only two Jaegers. You had a third and a sixth. Damia and the Paladin. Yeah, so it's just Sroot and Fanogun.
I'll just sidle up and ask, so what are your plans, boys?
Fanogun. Fanogun has a cousin in the Angels. So he's headed over there. And
That's intriguing.
Is he
Sroot is waiting for a caravan to the Alliance.
Oh, the poor sucker. He's staying right here. Can I talk to him?
Hold on. The guy who has a cousin in the Angels, is he a tiefling?
Yeah, Fanogun the Vile.
Oh,
Okay.
Finnegan.
And you're not allowed to talk to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Amanya's not. You went crazy and attacked him.
He's the guy that you threw off the ship.
So he doesn't talk to you.
Oh, I remember this. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, understandable. Okay, I was like, what happened while I was gone, guys? We have a rule. I don't do anything crazy when I'm not.
No, this was two episodes ago.
Remember, yes,
Enthralled.
that's fair. Yes. I have playstated. I've sung a lot of songs for him, but I understand if he doesn't want to talk to me. That's understandable. That's fair.
Can I actually talk to him really fast? If he's going to the Angels.
Yeah.
I love that the gang of tieflings is called the Angels. I just am throwing that out there. Like, I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Ironic.
You can catch him essentially as it's still morning, but the sun is up, and so like as he's getting ready to march out across the city.
I'm so sorry, Mr. the Vile.
ill.
You're, good. I don't see a bird friend.
Yeah, just me. And she's having another conversation. But do you intend to actually join the angels, to stay with them, to help them in their fight?
Oh yeah.
I like that he
but-
sounds like George. Are he and George both from Australia? Do they come from the
They're both-
same?
Well,
They're pirates.
I've decided that it's the accent of pirates, and so when I rolled Fanagun, like he's a tiefling and his background is sailor, so I was like, cool, yeah, no, he and George probably ran into each other when they were both still
They were
pirates.
born in the same
Love it.
place. They have the same
It's like
accent.
our accent.
Arr.
Intriguing. And your cousin, is he just or she, just a regular member of the angels, or high up, or?
Oh, I don't really know. I've never really met the guy. I
This
just
is
know
for fun.
oh yeah, no, he's if reports are accurate, he's a bit of a bastard, but he's got
Aren't we
work.
all sometimes? And so smash a few ghouls, have a little entertainment. That's the plan.
Well, I'll assume so. It looks to be the way of things. Place
Would you
is,
mind? Oh, go
Kind
ahead.
of, kind of in the shits here, so
Yeah, it's
figured I'll
not great.
come and help it along.
Huh. I wonder if you might deliver a message, or talk to some of the angels.
As you say, deliver a message, he immediately takes like a big step back, drops into a fighting crouch, and has like 2 daggers in his hands.
I'm just like this. Well, don't shoot.
you
A
meant-
message is a message.
You meant like a written message
Or a spoken one.
or a spoken? Right. Sorry. Puts the daggers away.
This is a
You know-
message.
You know,
You're in mob territory. You're a former mob boss. When you say deliver a message, there's a lot of bad things that can mean.
tell the head of the angels they'll be sleeping with the fishes. No.
Grab a dagger, cut some lines, and yeah, this is a message.
I just look at him, I'm just like, I like you immensely. That's the proper reaction. No, simply that it would be easier to smash ghouls if we were all in it together, that's all. And no hard feelings.
I don't know what any of it means, but sure, I can tell him.
So I know we talked about the brass. Have we had any contact with the angels? I mean, I know who they are, but I mean, in the old days.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys certainly have had interactions with them.
Mm-hmm. And are we big rivals? Are we in the old days?
Are you talking about like the early days? Because early days it
No,
was
I mean,
cutthroat world, but like when like kind of at the height of you and Gideon's leadership of the family,
I don't.
they hated you guys, but did not. But you guys were much bigger and stronger than they were. And you guys, I mean, they were useful to you guys on occasion, but you mostly ignored them.
Righty. All right. Tell the angels, say to him that Ma Mayweather says there's one family now. There's one.
That ain't
And
ominous. I don't know what is.
we're all in it together. If they want to come to the table.
Right? Kill ghouls for friendship. One family, come to the table. I've got it.
I just hold out my tiny hand.
Yep, he reaches out and shakes it.
One family, Mr. Avile.
Yeah, no, I'll heard you the first time.
Spread it around.
Sure, why not? Was that it?
Yes, I wish you the best. Happy smashing. I hope you find what you're looking for.
All right. You too. I'll see you later. All right. So message Flanagan's cousin. Okay. All right. So you guys are taking Damya and Ritza. Constantine will also be coming with you guys. So you guys have quite a crew. And I guess certainly Shoji as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And what route are you taking? Where are you going, first of all? What's location number one?
Yeah,
go
we
to my-
actually, yeah, it's on the way, but perhaps more importantly, so what time of day is it at this point?
Early morning, mid-morning.
Early morning. Do we want to perhaps wait until we have crack of dawn, as much daylight as possible?
Well, I mean, if it's only, 20, 30-minute walk, that's
It's
we've
a
got
20 or
plenty of
30
daylight for that.
a 20 or 30-minute walk, but we're also hoping to go further and then back, is my concern. And it's also a 20-minute walk into brass territory.
I mean, we could dink around here for the day, I suppose, and go tomorrow.
My other concern is just I don't want to be exhausted when we do this.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I really don't want to be at disadvantage for this whole thing because I might need to
totally get
persuade.
it.
I want to talk to the brass, and if I disadvantage on my persuasion, I'm screwed.
So we could kill today. That would be fine.
Yeah,
But tomorrow,
yeah. Are you okay with that, Almania? Because I know we're in a time crunch, but I don't know.
because we're
Yeah.
all at disadvantage on abilities right now.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry.
I just know Josh is
Don't
gonna
wanna
like
die.
throw the worst thing at me while I'm, and I'll
Yeah.
die again, and it's gonna suck. But that's fine. It's
That
fine.
would be so awful if you get back to Onisher and Amanya dies again.
Yeah, Josh, that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be the
Yeah.
worst?
That would suck.
So we might just have a free day here in the compound, which gives us time to supply and I don't know, a few more chats.
I mean, yeah, you guys can take the day. You guys can take several days.
Just the one. We're into the morning, crack of
Yep.
dawn. Do I see over the course of this day, unless folks want to do stuff during the day, any sign of Benji coming back?
Yeah, if you just want to spend the day kind of waiting to see. A note, if anybody wants to spend, so just real quick, are you guys like spending this day going to sleep and then actually moving out on the next day?
I think
That's
so.
the plan. Okay. So if you wanted, as long as you guys spend at least half of this day training, you guys can get started on actually moving to level 7 because you guys are there. You just have to work on actually acquiring those skills.
Sure. Yeah,
sure.
So if you don't want to spend half the day doing that,
Yeah.
certainly. Vera, you're going to spend the rest of the day essentially keeping an eye out for Benji.
Yeah, I might do one thing before that, but wait for everybody else here.
Okay. Rin, is there anything you wanted to spend the day doing?
I mean, she will go and talk with Oth about whatever he knows about those old scriptures that she said she would come back to him and they would talk about. So she'll just be taking notes, getting down as much information as she can, and then she'll just go and play her flute and light the candles and meditate and focus on all that stuff. Because I'm planning, if I do get to level her, she's going to take another level in cleric.
Yeah. Yeah, Oth does not have any on him. He essentially just tells you bits and pieces of like, oh yeah, in the olden days, people could do this and they could do this. And right, people had direct connections with the gods and the gods walked on the earth and things like that.
She'll also tell him the story that she tells everyone
Okay.
about how, her god was of semi-mortal origins and lived in a different place
Okay.
and fell in love with a mortal woman and all that stuff.
All right. He's very excited. He listens. Oth is a really good listener.
That's great. And she's definitely more in Karina's headspace while she's doing all that, although she still looks like Rin.
Wiping some of it, just absentmindedly, like wiping some of the stuff off as you go. So
Take-
it's like
take
this.
Take the spectacles off,
He has to be a different person.
Rin, half Karina.
She has her head covering back on.
All right. Almanya.
Yeah.
What did you want to spend the second half of your day doing?
I want to start training to go up to level 7. So I'm gonna perform some music, see if there's anybody else.
The other half. So like half of the day is training. Is there any?
Yes.
But you've got half a day of downtime.
How much of the area that we're in the slacks is explorable without like dying?
Not a whole lot. Spotting the guards and pickets from this side is fairly easy. So like you can walk around. Not quite. The area is not nearly the size of your neighborhood. Maybe about half the size. And so like as you just kind of walk the perimeter, you can see where people are stationed, murder holes are concealed, etc. And it's an area about half the size of your neighborhood.
Okay. I'd like to take some time just kind of getting acquainted with the space. I feel like I haven't probably spent a lot of time here when I was growing up. So just kind of like getting acquainted with this area and this space and the people there and trying to kind of piece together like what's been going on. Like a timeline. I'm kind of like looking for like people to kind of fill in a mental timeline for me of kind of like what's been happening.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to figure out like, hey, when did the Dragonborn leave? Like what's up with the council? Like what's kind of going on outside of this neighborhood,
Okay. Let me roll a quick. Oh. Okay. Not you don't get a lot more of the timeline than what Shoji gave you.
Okay.
Where city was starving, right? Cult popped up. Right, and you guys recognize the name of Illyriel, right? Lyra started that cult.
Mm-hmm.
But the cult popped up and it was fine. And then as people starved more and more, and then people started vanishing, and then some of those disappearances got linked to the cult, and then the cult started to get pretty bad, and now it's just full blown, like we don't want to go anywhere near it. The Red Harvest is all over that place. Eventually, ghouls popped up. Monstrosities started coming out of the sewers, then ghouls popped up, and things have just intensified and deteriorated from there.
People going missing to be bled. Dun, dun, dun.
Now, Almanya, go ahead and roll me a quick perception or survival with disadvantage because you are exhausted. Also, you do need to use the inspiration this in-game day.
Okay.
Or else it just vanishes. So if you wanted to use that on this roll, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'll use that on this roll. I'll use, you said perception or survival?
Yeah, perception or survival.
Okay. I'll use perception. I'll also use my inspiration. Can I cancel out my disadvantage?
Yeah, so it'd just be a straight roll.
Okay.
Nice.
21.
You have a really good lay of the land of kind of this small compound. You know where the storerooms are. You can see where kind of the not guard houses, but kind of the concentrations of watches, right? Kind of where the officers are stationed and are kind of dispatching their orders to and from.
Do I recognize anybody here at all, or is this just all people that I don't know?
Give me can you give me? Are you looking for anybody specific?
No, nobody. Well, my best friend. God, what was her name? It's been literally it's been like a year since I saw my.
Yes.
I designed my best friend character. What's her name?
Viria Sterling.
Yes, Viria. Yes.
She is definitely not here.
Her father was like super rich. Lord Alabaster Sterling. Yes, that's what his name was. He was a big patron of mine.
The Alabaster family would likely be in the council district.
Okay. I wanted to know how she was doing, but I assume she's not. Almania has this moment where she's like, she spent all of this time like, I was dead. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to find my family. And then she's looking around. She's like, oh my God, what the fuck? Is Viria okay? Like, she just like has this like moment, like, I haven't thought about my best friend in like a year. Oh my God. And she just starts like, panicking in the middle of the street. She has like a panic attack in the middle of the street. I'm like, oh my God.
That's going around.
Yep.
Okay, so just note somewhere you have a really good idea of kind of the lay of the land here.
Okay.
That's handy.
All right. So I'll go ahead and mark off you are 1 day closer to level 7.
Can I do some stuff today?
Yeah. Your second half, you're keeping an eye out for Benji.
Before I do that, can I quick ask either Sho or Damia to lend me some sendings? Since we're going to renew our spells.
Doji has some.
Yeah, I mean both of them. You've got up to 6 sendings available.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
6.
God.
I thought I only had like 2 for some reason. That was the number in my head.
Sho has 3.
Sho has 3 because we're
Yeah,
going
Sho
to
has
get our
3.
spells back overnight. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, pull up my word counter.
I'm sorry. We don't have a Travis to do it for us.
I try, but there's a delay
hard.
sometimes and I get lost.
Yes, and it's difficult. And don't worry, my messages are short, so they should be in the limit okay, at least on my end, but the responses are harder.
PCs, Vera, sending.
First one to Theodosia. Fingers flipping cross, there's an answer.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Again, Vera, in sort of the same Talia thing, like didn't want to contact her in case there wasn't an answer. Like as long as I didn't, she was. It's Schrodinger's person alive right now. If you don't open the box, the cat.
Schrodinger's granddaughter.
It's Schrodinger's granddaughter, and like Schrodinger's loved one. Here.
I can't believe it's been over a year since we started this campaign.
I know, this is insane.
Started September of 2019.
Yeah.
We started in October because we
I
did.
found it. My notes were from
It's Halloween.
We started in October. On October 4th, we started in 2019.
Because all of our test streams for the old campaign were in like the 3 or 4 weeks of September,
Mm-hmm.
and then we TPK.
Don't we know
Vera,
it?
Vera, what's your message?
So I'll start as always with my call sign that she would recognize, so she knows it's me. Which is one word indeed. I have to come up with what it is. It's got to be something fun. Anyway,
At the beginning of your messages, I put in brackets call sign.
excellent call sign.
Before she goes, Rin, did you have a point of order?
No, I'm just
counting
counting.
for me.
Oh, counting words. Got it.
I'm
Okay.
Travis.
She's Travising for us. It's no a verb. To Travis is to count the words in ascending. The call sign. My darling girl, tell me you're okay. Tell me where you are, and I'll come for you when I can.
I think you can get to when I. Oh no, 25 words. Never mind. You've got 2 left.
Mhm.
Love always. I'm working
so
on
this-
it, guys.
This
I'm proud of you. It's growth. I'm proud of you.
this is Damia.
Proud of my fake character. Actually, this is pretty personal. I think I had asked Show.
Okay.
Because I trust Show despite her insanity.
Why?
I don't know. Vera likes her a lot. She's like,
Questionable taste in people that she likes, though.
like I know, but Vera is like, she does things that sometimes I want to do, but she's just free and does them.
Well, plus the tree also attacked her.
Yes. Which I have no idea why. Sometimes we all just want to dismember things, and she's one of those free spirits who actually does it. It's amazing.
Yep.
Oh god, he's thinking really hard. But the fact that he's thinking tells me that she might be able to answer.
Dad thought you were dead. Glad you are alive. Doing fine. Where are you? Cannot under oath. Love always.
You little traitor, Theodosia. But at least she's safe.
What? So sorry. One more time, Josh.
Yeah, say that slowly. I'm writing it all down.
Dad thought you were dead. Well, here, I can just post it in a note.
There you go.
No, that means I have to write fast.
No, in Fantasy Grounds, I can just post it in a note and share it with you.
Awesome. I'm still writing it into the notes because that makes it official. Nothing
She's under
actually
oath,
happens.
So she can't say where she is. I love that.
Yeah.
That's actually not in order. But Dad thought you were dead. Glad you're alive. Doing fine. Where are you? Cannot under oath. Love always.
Under oath. Where
Actually-
are you?
Actually, the first word would have been call sign.
Yeah. All right. Shoji has 3, correct? Yeah.
Grace,
Yeah,
does
so she's
the
2 more.
Mayweather family have like set things where it's right? The president is the eagle and like thing. Do you guys have specific words for that?
Oh,
But it's
definitely.
like, yes, but it's things that we don't even tell the underlings. Like this is purely around Ma's dinner table. These are call signs.
When you if you get a chance and you ever wanted to come up with the
Oh,
actual
I'm
words for
so
those,
doing it.
just go for it and send those to me. I'd love to have them. Right. Next sending.
Josh, I have
I'm
questions when she's done.
sorry.
No.
I will ask Shoji to call her back. Get her back on the line.
Call her back.
Call her back. In the
Call
family
sign again?
call sign.
Okay.
Ooh, I have to think of one now, but my brain isn't working. So, in the Mayweather territory in the Slacks, in the compound, with your uncles, seen Benji, not your dad, no Lyle.
I lost track.
4 more words.
Reem got you too?
Yup.
Amazing. I love that so much.
What's so funny is like Vera is feeling Grace's feelings, where I'm just like, I am so glad she's okay. Like she was always independent. She's gonna do great. Did it have to be Vreem, honey?
I know this is scintillating stuff. I apologize.
Sometimes the sendings have like a shaky connection, you know.
For what it's worth, chat, I miss you. You know who you are.
I am Siri.
We know who you are. I am Siri.
That was
Siri is part of our chat, clearly.
Siri hasn't embarrassed me on stream for almost a year now, so
I was sitting in on the head of school teaching Hegel during my when I was teaching seniors, and it just explained this really complicated idea that Hegel was trying to get across. And we're all sitting there, right? The wheels are turning, and then the head of school's phone, which is on the desk, goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Could you repeat that?"
Mr. Hagel, I don't understand you.
It was
I mean,
too perfect.
that's the only appropriate response to Hegel, first of all.
Exactly.
All right, so here's
Please explain.
Theodosia. Here's what Theodosia sends back. Oaths are the best thing ever.
Oh, don't suck, Theodosia.
I
What?
think sarcastic.
What state of things? It has been a while. Maybe help if needed.
Yay. Okay, what state of things? Been a while. Sorry, what was that last thing? Maybe help. Like if I
Maybe help
can.
if needed.
Sorry, say that again.
Maybe help if needed.
Oh, maybe help if needed. I will, I'm so sorry, Show, use up her last slot here to respond. Things pretty desperate. Only just arrived myself. Will contact you again. Stay safe.
Okay.
I like how we've got like, you know, the phone tone music. We get a musical interlude. For the
He's got the hold music. Yeah.
I love it. So it's much prettier than hold music.
So Mary, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the mic can only really handle one audio input well at a time. So
That's
just
fine.
yeah. So I'm here we go. Understood. Update ASAP. Talia and squad supposed to check in and have not. Things getting bad here.
And squad supposed to check in.
Oh, guys. In 2 days, it's the 1 year anniversary of Almanya dying. Man. Really great stuff.
All right, things getting bad here. Alrighty. Talia's met my granddaughter again. Oh, I'm so happy. Wait, Jenny, did you know that this whole time? Okay. gonna be like, no, that was in your personal little one shot there. That
All right. So you've used up 3. You've got 3 in Damya as well.
I do. Which I'm sorry, I did not expect these. I was expected to send like a quick one off and then get a response, but sorry. So I'll say thank you very much, show, and I will run to Damia. And
Okay.
love you, show. I will run to Damia and consume one of her spell slots and say,
Still to Theodosia?
still Theodosia, yes. So we'll update when have more information. Going on mission now to Cataracts and Samvalhaines. Please advise. And actually, can I say Cataracts? I know exactly where Almania lives, right? Do I know her address? I assume I do. Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
where she lives.
I'll give the exact address. Going to this address and Samvalhaines. Please advise.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that your granddaughter, like, I hope that her whole thing was like, yeah, oaths are awesome because my oaths say I can't say otherwise, but oaths are fantastic.
I solemnly swear I make an oath that I will never diss oaths.
Yeah.
It's like wishing for more wishes.
Okay. Let's advise. Call sign caution.
Succinct and to the point. I like my girl. Alrighty. I will then, I'm so sorry guys, one more message. This one's gonna be brief. I'm going to send a message to my psychopathic son.
Lyle?
Does it just say fuck you? Is that the entire thing that it's going to say?
Well,
In so many words.
call sign. And then I'll just say his call sign. Run. I'm coming for you.
His call sign, followed by Benji's call sign, followed by Junior's call sign, followed by the call sign for each member of the family. See you soon.
Oh. And I'm going to actually say it, but hopefully say it quietly enough for Damia not to hear me. Who knows if I should roll for that against her perception. But I'm just going to say very quietly, I knew I should have drowned him before he got too big.
Oh, Jesus.
Ma, it's very naughty.
He was the type of kid who would, like, you know, murder kittens and, you know, put them on sticks in the alley.
But that's what Ender's brother did, and he ended up uniting the whole Earth. I mean,
That's
uniting
true.
is a soft word for what he did, but
This kid was like serial killer material. was like,
alrighty.
You're a serial killer and we're going to focus your energies into being a serial killer for the family.
All right.
I have questions.
You have questions.
I have questions. Okay. In what I believe was session 0, there was a rumor that said that the new cult that was starting up was called the Advent. I want to know if this is the same cult or if this is a different cult.
The rumor about the Advent came well before Lyra began spreading news, spreading the ideas of Illyrio.
Okay, so that's what I assumed. I just wanted to make sure this wasn't like the same cult that had just kind of like blown out of proportion. Also, you said this is, I guess, now 2 years ago that everybody had this weird dream, this like collective worldwide dream. And I only have a note that says it was bad. What was the dream that everybody collectively had?
Well, we all saw the silver moon break, right? And we saw the red moon come into the sky.
Right.
And we all heard, I think, like whispers and shrieks and stuff.
I want to know if there was like a specific, like, was there anything else that happened in that dream that we should know about? I'm just trying to piece. I feel like, did you guys see somebody on somebody collected all of the moments in the new Critical Role campaign when Marisha like played detective and they put it to like detective music in the background. She's like, okay guys, 3 years ago I wrote down this note which connects to this note that I wrote down 6 months ago, which connects to this note that I wrote down 8 months ago, and all of them are like sitting there nodding along as she has like a timeline that she has like carefully constructed. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
it
was.
I need to
yes,
go back and do that.
you should.
What I said was that night you had dark dreams and woke up trying to recall the fast receding details of pain, despair, and slow creeping inexorability.
Great, charming. By the way, can we all just stop and admire Jenny's incredible memory? I'm just like, holy crap. Like, this keeps happening where I'm just like, how do you do this?
I don't know. I've always done that since I was a kid. So yeah,
it's amazing. It's
I appreciate
so cool.
I appreciate the love. Thank you.
Like your brain, it's amazing.
You have a very good brain. It's a good brain. What was the other thing that I was looking at?
Actually, yeah. For that, Jenny, I'm gonna give you an inspiration to use on the coming day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, last time I was at the Dragonborn Embassy with Tulsha, I heard a rumor that the Pillar of Eden, one of the smaller floating islands, was starting to dip and lose power. I want to know if I can find out any more information about that or the other floating islands, or if, like, once the Dragonborn left, there's just no information. But I'd like to know if I can.
Nobody in this compound would have any idea what you were talking about.
Okay, that's fine. I'll make a note to come back to that.
This is one of those moments as a DM where you're just like, well, all right, there goes that piece of information that's been dropped and forgotten. Now you're all bringing them back.
No,
It's all back. It's all back.
how is the Drunok River looking?
Ooh, I have those rumors too.
Yeah.
How is it looking?
Yes, the last time I got a rumor, the Drunok River, it was said that the Drunok River would wall. I want to know if anything has changed according to the people in the Slacks. Like, hey, is there weird stuff going on? Or
not a lot of you get no information on that, and frankly, most people are confused about why you're worrying about what might happen in like 20 or 50 or 200 years.
Yeah,
Look,
because I remember that as the rumor, like, I remember that as the rumor of like the asteroid is going to hit the Earth.
Okay.
Like eventually the river is going to wear away all of our supports and we're all going to fall into the sea.
a note for a timetable. I wasn't sure if it was like you were watching active erosion going on and people were like, oh man, the city's gonna collapse in like a year and we don't
Any minute now, man.
Yeah, there it goes.
I also have a note that the Slacks is much better at keeping out the undead. Does that seem to continue to be like a thing that's going on? Like, or according to the people in the Slacks and the people who I've been talking to, are there other kind of patches that have like become really good at keeping out the undead?
So typically there's a dedicated guild to making sure that, hey, we heard that you lost a loved one recently, and we just want to make sure that you've burned their corpse. So if you could, right, and that's the Death Watch.
Right.
Sorry for your loss. Here's a torch.
No, I mean exactly. Like part of their job is basically to check up and make sure you did that on your own, and if you don't, fine you and do it for you.
Okay.
So that's their job, but they are also part of the bureaucracy, whereas the Mayweathers exercise direct and immediate and personal control over their territory. So they were just much better at ensuring that, they had a better cremation rate, I'll say, than, this small organization that's part of a bloated bureaucracy.
Okay.
With much less efficiency than the Mayweathers had.
Awesome. Sweet. Okay.
Can I make up something we could have done? Is to have like everyone who's actually a gang member carries a little magical thing that will like immolate if they are killed on the job.
That's a little bit higher, like more common magic than you would have had
Access to. It's like having a poison capsule only for making sure you don't ghoulify.
Yeah, there's really no way to ensure that you don't ghoulify other than burn the corpse.
Okay. I think that's all of the things that I was curious about. I think.
Okay. Anybody else have year and a half old notes that they want clarification on?
But I'll get back to you. So,
Josh, with my pen, what are some rumors that I hear going on around the city currently?
Pretty much the ones that you've heard.
Nothing new that I haven't heard.
I mean, it's mostly concerned with very local things. The danger of the cult on one side. Nobody really knows what's going on with Marianne, but they also don't know who Marianne is. Just that, don't go over there. Those people are insane. Monsters and kobolds on the other side, and also what's to eat for lunch. Oh, good. More.
My exploration that I've kind of been going around, I haven't heard anything kind of aside from those things.
Not much. The Mayweathers, they're under siege and they're fairly isolated.
Okay. If there are kobolds, have we heard anything about dragons that the kobolds might be serving? Or are they just kobolds?
You have not heard anything about dragons.
Okay.
Jenny, were you said something when I was asking about year and a half long notes?
I said yes, but I'm the wrong character. But
fair enough.
But I actually do have something that one more thing Karina would do if Domnia still has a spell slot left, and if Vera, as clearly the boss of this operation, is willing to allow Karina to take it, she would ask if she could.
I'm so sorry for absorbing them all. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Damia's got one more.
Okay. So I would like to send a message to Papa.
Alrighty. Oh, there we go. All right.
I'm across the sea and doing fine. I'm with a group of people that seem okay. ...
You have 6 more words.
How are you? Question mark.
Damia reports, "You are not my daughter. Why should I trust you?"
I just laugh. It's a game. It's a little bit of a game we play every now and then. You know, you got to keep him on his toes. He's an old man. He needs some excitement in his life.
Yes, of course. If, you know, I'm happy to try again tomorrow if you'd like to, come up with some kind of identifier, or if there's anything you don't mind sharing that only you would know.
Yes, of course. So tomorrow, if you send the same message, well, except you can scratch the part about I'm with people who seem okay.
They suck.
And in its place, you can say, "You're a right bastard, and I love you." And then he'll know it's me.
All right, I will try that.
Thank you. Just let me know what he says, if you can.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Vera, you are, give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Yes. Still exhausted.
Actually, Almanya, one rumor that you will have heard is that best efforts have concluded that the next red moon will probably be on the 3rd of Resistance, which is in 11 days, including tomorrow.
And what happened to the last red moon?
It
Stuff.
sounds like similar things, but on a smaller scale to what you saw in Westishire, where the Legion camp was hit by thousands of ghouls every red moon.
Ma, we got to get that pylon.
It seems
agree.
like something like that is happening, but on a much smaller scale.
Okay.
Okay. Do that sending tomorrow. Okay. 11. Vera, you are unable to acquire Benji's location. He is either not in this compound and he's just been kind of around all day, or he's avoiding you.
I know him. It's option B. He's
So,
always more
you guys-
retiring than.
You guys spend the night. You find out that Oth, after terrifying several
We are
small
currently improving an issue with your audio connection. Please stand by.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Your audio connection is back up and ready to go. Please allow time for your callers to rejoin.
I
What?
had adrenaline like shoot down my spine, where it's just like, what's this? What's happening? Oh God!
I've been
Brother, he
chosen.
is speaking to us.
I've been chosen. It's the rapture.
Yeah, because this is the moment that I would be in. What was I saying? Oh, Oth has been confined to the storeroom because 1, he doesn't eat, and 2, they need him to stop scaring small children. Shoji has been asked to remain also somewhere else because she also creeps the
Scares the
children.
children.
Yep.
Just a skelly
Almanya,
lady.
can you just give me a general charisma check? Almanya?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said somebody else. Charisma?
Quick charisma check.
Sure. A 9. Not the best, but I'll take it.
You've also
Is
been asked
she
to keep
scaring
Almania away from kind of the children's area.
But I look
Oh.
cute. I have feathers. And I have like cool little like dangly pretty feathers.
Yeah, and some people think clowns are fun.
Meanwhile, Rin has been regaling the children with all sorts of crazy stories from
Oh,
her time
yeah.
in the Resistance, and
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, as soon as they find out that you, oh snap! Yes, I said it. I don't like clowns.
I don't either.
A clown? What the hell?
Now we know how to scare him.
Look goddamn adorable.
They are not. They're creepy and weird.
I didn't
Anyway.
say clowns are adorable. I said I'm adorable.
Yes, you're adorable, but we're talking about small children. Rin, as soon as they find out that you can be two people, like just all over you, they love it. It's great. They
Excellent.
all get a little bit creeped out as you break out your candles and do your cleric focusing and whatnot, but they all come back after.
Cool.
Okay.
I take out some of the more gory bits of the story and don't tell them that part, but I tell them the rest of the story, like the G-rated version.
All right. You guys pass the night uneventfully. And it is now the 20th of contact. Again, no jobs or instructions from Benji.
But what does Papa say?
Probably want to wait until later in the day. Damia wants to hold on to the abilities just in case like stuff happens.
Okay. That's fair.
Which it will.
Because yeah, you guys are traveling today and blowing third level slots before you've even gone into danger is not a great idea. Damia also insists that Vera has no authority over her. And that she and she alone will decide who gets to use her slots. That sounded, oh dear. Moving on.
That she's a free agent and a friend.
Yes. He doesn't say it in a mean way, but an insistent way.
All right,
What's the
I'd say
plan?
crack of dawn. We are out of here.
But like fully sunlight.
Yeah, I mean, not crack of dawn. Yes.
So not the crack of dawn.
5 minutes after. The sun rises really
Full
fast.
sunlight.
The sun rises really fast.
If you
It's
guys
like
want to wait
October.
for full sunlight, you're probably going to want to wait until maybe mid to late morning so that the sun is
No.
actually dead.
No, we're going for dawn lit. That rosy fingered dawn.
But the
Okay.
ghouls have disadvantage in sunlight.
I know it is sunlight.
In direct sunlight.
Is it direct? Come on, vampires.
It's undead.
Vampires.
So are we doing early morning or like mid to late morning?
I'd still say early morning because we're going to the brass. We're not going into ghoul territory to begin with.
Okay.
Right, so
If
the
we are
plan
going
is
to the brass.
Plan is going straight through rather than kind of around through the council district.
Are you guys good with that? I just want to.
So we're going to
More direct.
Almania's first, just so we know where we're going. We're going to Almania's first, then we were planning to go to Samvilhanes, then coming back.
Yes.
Okay.
Possibly stopping by the consulate if we can to
Yes.
information.
Okay.
But
So straight shot through the city to the Cataract District, then council to hit Samvilhanes and the consulate.
Yes.
At what point are you planning on taking Damia to Bedraggled Cross?
How far away is it from Almania's house?
It's the next district over.
no, there's a district in between.
10, 15 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Riston Point is the next one. So sorry. A couple districts over. So probably 30 or 40 minutes.
Could we do that in between Almania's house and Samvilhane?
Or after Samvilhanes.
True, we could do it on the way back. As in, we could loop around by a different route and go up
Because
through that territory.
It might be good to have, some reinforcements when you go to the snooty people's place, because they probably are extra guarded or something.
Yes.
All right.
And can I ask Almanya super fast? Almanya, you've used several magical skills to improve our hit points and things like that, our health. Do you
Yeah.
have anything to silver one's tongue?
Well, if I play for long enough and people listen to me, then I can charm them and make them do things for me. But I don't know if I can give other people. I can inspire other people. But I don't think I can raise your. I don't think I can raise people's charisma. I don't think that's a thing I can do. But I can do other things. So, yeah.
Are you willing to, I suspect, passing through brass territory, I would frankly rather talk my way through than fight my way through. I've had some dealings with these people in the past. Are you willing to back me up, so to speak?
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
What are friends but convenience for?
Alrighty, we'll see if we can get through them without violence.
All right.
Of course, violence is always an option.
But there's always another way.
And it's violence. Violence is sometimes the answer.
All right. You guys set out from this compound, heading straight into the heart of the city. If I could have a volunteer to roll a d12.
Oh God. I'll do it.
Okay.
We'll see what happens to us.
Oh, JD rolled one.
Oh,
for us.
JD rolled one for us. Never mind. Take her roll.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, producer. Woo!
Roll
Shout
good,
out.
JD. I hope
The
that's a good roll.
encounter that will kill you all.
I won't blame you, JD. It's all his fault.
Yes. But
Um,
also, we tend to torture our producer with our nonsense, so it would also be fair.
Vengeance! All right. You guys head out through the city. The scenery is much the same as what you've seen in the kind of on your initial journey from the docks to the Mayweather territory. You can see here and there the signs of habitation. People do live outside of the Mayweather kind of compounds, but windows and doors are boarded up. You can see makeshift barricades in various places. And you guys enter into what, Vera, you know as brass territory, which doesn't look any different from kind of the surrounding area. Other than memory, there's really not much to indicate that this is brass territory. Are you guys moving through, or were you actively looking for them?
I'll look for them on the way back. For now, we'll move through unless we're stopped.
Okay. Nobody attempts to stop you. You can see the occasional person moving between houses. Somewhere you can hear the sound of a smith's hammer, but it's very quiet and otherwise subdued. As you move into the very beginning of the Cataract District, and you guys are heading to, I'm sorry, Almanya's house?
Yeah.
You guys make your way there, no problem. The Cataract District seems to have fared better, significantly better. Here, there are actually armed patrols that you see on the corner here and there, or in places. There are always at least 5 or 6 people, and the squads go as large as 12. Here and there, you can see a tattered watch uniform, but the majority of these people look to be actually essentially what you guys were, like locals, civilians doing, some kind of watch duty. Their weapons and equipment are better quality than what you saw a lot of the Mayweathers using. Proper spears, proper shields. There's some chainmail here and there. They look hungry. Just like everybody else in the city, cheeks are sunken in, dark circles under the eyes, just thin limbs. But there does seem to be a generally functioning society here. It's not great, but it's functioning. And you guys make it to the Colmavdalor house. The windows are broken on all of the ground floors, and it looks like the door was barred on the inside, but was broken from the inside out. And so like the front door is just hanging a little bit off of the frame.
Well, geez, let's hope that whoever looted it didn't take some stupid old pylon wrapped up in a bunch of cloth.
True. And let's hope they didn't touch it and find out what it does.
Well, maybe if they did, they disappeared and then they didn't make it back.
Sort of like we almost didn't because we were too busy doing like a Marx Brothers routine. It was amazing.
It was beautiful. Great.
So where would your brother's room be?
Upstairs.
All right.
I'm gonna go into my house.
As you kind of look up at the windows on the upper level, you do see the skeletons of fish just like scattered about on the wall. All right, you guys walk in, and it just looks like this place has been ransacked. Every cupboard opened, every drawer spilled out, every piece of furniture. Well, actually, furniture's all gone. So would all of the dressers, and yeah, most things are just gone, and it has been fairly thoroughly ransacked. But you guys continue on to the upper level, and in the room, in Endon's room, again, bits and pieces of smashed furniture, but any whole piece is completely missing. But sitting, like leaning up against the wall, it looks scratched, like somebody took some kind of blade or something to it, chipped and scratched, but the portal stone is there.
Oh, fuck. Good. Okay. I'm going to grab anything that I can. Well, yeah, I'm basically gonna stick my hands underneath it so I don't touch the top, because this is what I did last time, and just like pick it up and go, okay.
It's heavy. It is a large pedestal of stone. Give me an athletics check.
I mean, I hauled this thing back to my house in the middle of a snowstorm, so I think I can handle it.
Also almost died.
Yes, but I didn't die that time.
Can we put it in Jeeves?
Didn't it? Wasn't I giving you points of exhaustion as you went and you got up to like 4?
No, that was me the same night.
That
I
was
just-
you.
We were all gonna die that night.
I'd have to go
Jeeves?
back and look at it. I could swear whoever was trying to drag the pillar through.
Yeah, but she got like 1 point of exhaustion. I'm the one who is 1 point of exhaustion
Because you
away
were
from
so-
fucking dying.
Because you were so weak, poor Talia.
And I kept knocking on Kelfir's door.
Josh, can I just put it into Jeeves?
Yeah, you could fit it into Jeeves.
Awesome. I just want to fit it into Jeeves.
Okay, yeah, you stick it into Jeeves.
Quick question. You
Or-
say that it's
For kicks and giggles, Almanya,
Oh, fuck.
go ahead and give me that athletics check.
we can
Add
help.
it. You can add a D4, Mary. Oh, that won't help you, but you can still add a D4.
All right, nothing was going to happen unless you rolled a 1. You rolled a 2.
One touch the top and just bamf out of existence?
Pretty much. Like as you're trying to get it in, you like slip and try to catch it, and that would have just been great. But no,
And
What
it's a good
happened?
note down where each of the pillars goes so I could get back.
But here's the question that I'm afraid to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I'm a good player. What happens when you put a portal stone into an extra dimensional space?
Exactly what I was about to ask.
she
Okay.
puts it in there.
Okay.
The
Nothing happens.
other thing I was going to ask, you say it's chipped?
Yeah.
And for some reason, I have this mental image of that episode a very long time ago that there's some sort of lighting on it when it's active.
There's
Am I
room.
correct? Yeah.
There's a rune that yes, there is a reaction to activate.
The rune lights up when you
Right.
touch it.
So it doesn't appear to be on at the moment.
Correct.
Right. Let's hope it's still connected. We'd have to try it, but
Since I had to roll to see if I failed and teleported myself, I'm assuming it still works.
can I look around the room for any notes about this? Or I guess paper would have been taken for kindling, but
Yeah, give me an investigation check. Does anybody else want to do anything else in the room or the house?
I'm assuming that there's nothing valuable left because everything has pretty well been looted at this point.
Nothing immediately obvious. Did you want to search?
Yeah.
Okay, give me an investigation check. And Elmania, did you want to do anything in particular?
I wanted to see if I assume my siblings had like places where they hid things around our house, like loose floorboards or like hidden chests or things. I want to see if I could find anything like that.
Sure. Give me a roll with advantage.
Perception.
Investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah.
18.
Roll of 18. All right. Vera, with a 13, you do not find notes left behind, writing of any sort. Karina,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for valuables. Couple of copper pieces that you find like in the cracks of a floorboard. Not too much else. And Almania.
Yeah.
Beggars can't be choosers. I'll pocket it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I assumed that you were talking that. Almania, with an 18, you are looking around, and you know where a couple of Enden's hidey holes are. You find those; they've been cleared out.
Okay.
You're pretty confident that only Enden would have found those, so he likely took those with him.
Yeah. Some stuff in bags. Okay.
You don't find anything in Talsha's room. As you're looking around, though, the entire wash basin stand in your parents' room, as you kind of turn, start to look behind it, actually just comes off the floor, and but it is attached to the floorboards that have been frankly brilliantly sawed, and then refitted loosely so that you can pull it up, but if you put it back down you can't see any space between the sawed floorboards. And so as you accidentally pull it off, you're looking down about a 2.5 foot wide crude tunnel that just goes straight down into the earth.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Ma!
I come running.
Check
Come
out
on.
my parents' sneaky tunnel. I'm so proud of them. I didn't know they had Oh my gosh, this was probably my dad. Oh, my dad's the best.
You know, I'm starting to respect your parents more and more if they had a bolt hole. Very, very sensible.
Sneaky tunnel in my notes. Awesome.
Is that
I
all you
want to
tunnel? Sneaky
I
tunnel.
want tunnel.
I will really fast cast dancing lights with my belt and send a little glob a little bit down the tunnel. How far does it look like it goes, this thing?
How far can your
20
globule
feet
go?
from you.
Thank you,
20
Jenny.
feet?
20 feet.
I believe so. May double
Um,
check, but I think that's right.
It curves out of sight fairly quickly, about 10 feet down.
Okay, so it does level out.
It does level out. What you notice immediately is that it's definitely carved for climbing. It's also not wide enough for somebody the size of Almania's dad. Like he could, like 2.5 feet wide, like he could get down it. He'd be squeezing.
What about my mom?
Not much better. There's not a huge, like, average size difference between male and female dragonborn. And both of your parents are quite athletic.
Huh.
I mean,
Does it-
your mom's an archer,
Yeah.
so she is quite broad across the
Mm.
shoulders, and your dad's a blacksmith.
Yeah.
So would it be like kobold sized, perhaps?
That's
Kobolds
exactly what I was-
kobolds could extremely easily pass through this tunnel.
Did my family employ kobolds and I just didn't know it?
But it does look very deliberately made.
Which
Oh,
we
yes.
know that they do.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay.
So the dancing lights can travel 60 feet from you, but they have to remain within 20 feet of another light.
Oh, so you can kind of
Oh,
send
I
them.
see. So you could daisy chain
Mhm.
Okay.
Could I get down there
them. Yes.
as a tall, skinny bird person?
Yeah, you can get down.
Okay.
And I
It's-
could.
It's going to be really difficult for Almania and Rin. Vera would have no trouble.
Okay.
Amanya Lovey, this looks like, unless you're quite certain your parents made this could be someone else.
Yeah, but this is like so perfectly integrated into the room. I doubt anybody would do this after they left. It seems like a waste. So this had to have happened while my parents were still living here.
Yeah. Josh, does this... Oh, please, go ahead, Jenny.
It's also, if you don't mind my saying so, Amanya, it sort of seems like a side quest, perhaps.
Yeah, but it's my family's house. This is
Right,
kind
but my point, my dear friend, is that daylight's burning, and I think we have a few things we're trying to accomplish today. So, do we want to spend the time on it right now, or do we want to come back later because we know where it is?
Can we come back on the way back?
If
Well,
there's
we can...
daylight left?
Yeah, we can loop around, I guess, because we have to get Damia where she needs to go,
Yeah.
and then perhaps loop around. However, can we perhaps spare 10 minutes?
I mean, it's your time. I just was suggesting that, the ghouls are at a disadvantage in sunlight and we don't want to lose the sunlight and travel back in the dark. And
Very sensible.
it's your lives and your deaths. I mean, it's up to you.
About what time is it now? Because we left very early.
And it
So
takes
it's
like only a half hour to like walk all the way over where we were supposed to go. So
It's
probably
a
still
fairly large city, so traveling from one side to the other is somewhere from 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how you have to reroute around barricades, burned out buildings, collapsed buildings, etc. Sorry, for some reason I suddenly stopped being able to think. So is there a specific distance you're wondering about?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
wondering what time is it since we started as early as we could.
Oh, it's still pre-noon.
Oh, sweet.
More specifically, though, because we want to know how much time we have to spend on this.
Sorry, you guys
Daylight.
ended up leaving in the early morning.
Yeah.
So it is still pretty early morning.
Sweet.
All right. Here's the thing. How about you all wait here? I will go down here really, really quickly and check if it's a trap. I will sneak very quietly. And if I see anything within a certain time period, I will come back and tell you. But a tiny bit of investigation, but not long.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
I mean, we could perhaps send the skinny one's bird down. Not the skinny bird, but the skinny one's bird.
The only thing is, can the bird see in the dark?
The bird cannot see in the dark.
Don't think so. I mean,
All right.
birds don't.
Yes. Well, owls should and things like that, but they don't.
We know the thing. We can send the bird down. If the bird comes back, okay, it's probably fairly clear. If the bird doesn't come back, there be monsters.
It's a raven and a dragonborn mine.
Say that, but also is like exceedingly good at sneaking. I think she could just kind of sneak down there pretty easily compared to the rest of us.
5 minutes. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, you all move on.
Well,
Send the bird.
no. So, first of all, Mrs. Mayweather, I just clap you on both shoulders, give you a little shake. Now, you be careful down there. And I think this is stupid, but I put my blessing on you.
Thank you. Oh, here's an idea. Can Show summon the raven, and I'll take the raven with me with Show connected to it, so I can talk to you guys.
So she
Yeah.
can essentially narrate.
Nice.
Yep. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna pull a frumpkin. Okay. I will
Shoji
take-
can definitely do that.
I will take Raven and take Raven with me, and I will douse the lights and go down with my goggles instead.
Okay, so in that case, she won't be able to narrate any sights, but anything you say to the Raven, she will be able to report to the party.
Yes. So I will narrate
Okay,
when appropriate.
alrighty. Give me a stealth check with advantage.
Does the blessing of trickster is advantage? It's not. It's
Yeah.
pass without a trace that adds the 10.
Right, it's just advantage.
So
Okay,
this is
thank
just
you.
advantage.
I don't get past without a trace until I'm much higher level than I'm allowed to be in this world.
Oh well.
Lit.
24.
24. Okay. So you creep down the tunnel. As you kind of descend that first 10 feet, it's hard to see from the top, but once you're down here, there are very clear handholds and foot and toe holds. You get down and you can see as the tunnel levels out, it does not increase in diameter. So I mean, if Elmania or Rin or any medium person came down here, they would be crawling kind of the whole way. You can stand up mostly, but you're kind of maybe a little hunched in places.
Alrighty.
So, like, Endon wouldn't have even been able to get down here then.
Yeah.
Look, again, like any of them could have gotten down here. It would be really tight, and none of them would have been able to stand up at all. You would all be on hands and knees the entire time.
Can I ask, with the handholds and footholds, about how far are they spaced? As in, are they spaced for a larger creature or for smaller creatures to do this?
Something about your size.
For a smaller person to do this. Okay.
Totally
Interesting.
guys.
It is.
Can I go and check my brother Kavisa's room? Is there anything in his room? Like any secret?
It's about the same. He's got little places as well that have been cleared out.
Okay, I just want to check in case he like left a dagger or something behind that he like hid under like 7 floorboards because he's a nerd. But that's fine.
All right.
Okay.
Vera, as you kind of step into the leveled part of the tunnel. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, great.
That's why I said
Yeah.
send the bird, guys.
I know. I hope it's kobolds though, because I love them.
I know you do.
Yes.
18.
18. Okay. You step in and you hear a snap, and immediately 4 concealed nooses get yanked out of the dirt where you're stepping and near your head, and just like zip and slap into the walls. But you managed to avoid them. Had any of them caught you, you imagine you would have been like stuck, spread eagled in the tunnel. Like all 4 of them pulled to their maximum. Do you continue or turn back?
How many minutes has it been?
About 20 seconds.
Alrighty. From now on, I will check for traps,
Give me an investigation check.
which is hilarious because my investigation actually kind of sucks. That's not Vera's thing. 14.
Oh, not terrible.
Average.
You continue down the tunnel, and about 10 feet down the tunnel, you hear another snap. This one is an attack roll.
Yeah, I might be done with this, y'all. Too much trouble for what we're doing right now.
But there are
and
lessons to be learned.
It looks like some kind of wood had been like bent back into the wall, and as you moved forward, whatever was holding it back was cut, and basically just like this wooden slat with this wicked looking hook on it comes whipping out towards you and slams into you. You take 13 points of piercing damage and are kind of knocked back a little bit, and you can see that it has just kind of torn through your clothing and just like torn a gouge across your collarbone.
I love that, like, I can only imagine if you're a big person coming down here, you're crawling, and it's all of these little nooses, and it literally, like, can't get a hold on you because you're too big.
Oh, no. If you're down here and there's a trap with an attack roll, I consider you prone.
Oh, no, I didn't mean the attacker one. I meant the dexterity saving throw one where there are the nooses on the ground, and you're, like, army crawling your way in, and so it tries to, like, grab you, and it, like, it can't, like, it, like, holds onto your nose, and that's about extent of a nuisance.
Yeah, I will let you know, if you are down here, you're also, and you're medium, you're also making those saves with disadvantage.
Ah, I see. Yes.
There's no room to move out of the way.
So did that seem to be tripped, or was it released manually by someone else?
You can see that there was a wire that you tripped, that you just missed as you're going down here. Even with dark vision, it's still considered dim light, and you're seeing everything in grayscale. So it is hard to spot these traps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm out. This is too much trouble. We can come back. And it's clearly not meant for Dragonborn. Yeah.
Although it is interesting to note that the kobolds clearly have like a thriving society
I
underneath
respect
the
them.
city. So maybe you halflings should take lessons from that.
I know. And also, I kind of want to be their friends forever so that I can
Right?
play one someday. They're so
Do
cute.
Grace is like, I'm gonna unlock kobolds as a playable character.
It's like my goal in this video game. I just need to unlock that one thing.
Achievement hunting and trying to do that. Collect 50 pine codes and you'll get a kobold.
I just want to unlock Kobold as a player.
They are available for unlock.
I know. You're just dangling in front of me. It's so tempting. So every time it might be a kobold, I have to go.
All right, so after about a minute and a half,
Like 3 kobolds in a coat.
after about a minute and a half, Vera comes crawling back out, dirt smeared in a couple of places, and looking a little bit worse for wear.
Probably kobolds.
Kobolds?
climb back out. Didn't actually see any, but at the hallmarks?
Why are there kobolds?
Because this city is overrun, it seems, with vermin.
Yeah, except I don't think that kobolds would have built, you know, a secret entrance under my family's wash bin.
Unfortunately, it's a mystery that we don't have time for at the moment.
Josh, quick
Yes.
question. You said the house has been ransacked. Like, can I get a gauge on how long it's been sort of unoccupied?
Yeah.
Just
Give
with,
me an investigation check
rogue stuff. I'm gonna guide myself.
or a perception check. I'll allow either.
I'll do perception and guidance. So there's the perception, and there's the guidance. So that's an 18.
18. It's been quite some time. You would estimate a couple, 2 to 3 months, maybe. There's plenty of dust.
Okay.
Well, the good news about this is that it's easy to get here, it seems, and relatively safe. So we can definitely come back and look again.
Yeah.
And we should.
Well, and I will say, Amanya, that it does seem that your family hasn't been here for some time. So perhaps these kobolds moved in after your family was gone.
Is there anything in my room?
Do you have little secret places where you would hide things in your room?
I can only assume I would, because
Okay,
I
what
seem
sorts of
like those kinds of people.
What sorts of things would you put in there?
What kind of things would I put? Probably a lot of like music, like little like music sheets or things like, you know, it's like the kid who like stuffs like forbidden like cassette tapes, you know. I feel like I doubt there was like any forbidden music. But probably like little like toy weapons or things like that, bits of jewelry, stuff that my siblings and I would have like found and like smuggled into our house.
It's like Mom told me I needed to practice archery for like 2 hours today, but instead I wrote a bunch of music, but I can't let her see how much music she wrote or she'll know I didn't practice archery. So I'm gonna like, hide it.
I was imagining it's more like you're hiding your like heavy death metal records that your parents won't let you have. that you bought with your own money, like they don't know about.
Yeah, all those things. Yeah. Stuff like that. Jewelry.
Having hidden some CDs in my day.
Like my sister wanted to borrow my necklace, and I told her no, and so I hid it under like the floorboard so she couldn't see it, you know.
All right.
Yeah, I was the kid who read after lights out, so I dropped my book between the crack between my wall and the bed.
I did that
when I heard Mom in the hallway.
Yes, did that a lot.
Nerds, all of us. Almania, give me a sleight of hand check.
With advantage?
Yep.
It's my no.
This is a retroactive one to essentially see how well you would have hidden these little cupboards.
Clearly, Almania sucked at hiding things.
As you open them up, they have been cleared out of pretty much everything.
That I thought my music was in there the whole time. She was just pretending for my sake that she didn't know that it was there.
You see no, they probably would have taken those. Yeah, no, they've pretty much been cleared out.
Yeah. I didn't put anything. I'm not hiding anything. My mom like looking at like the clearly moved like slide of wood, like, yeah, sure, sweetie.
There's a corner of paper sticking up through the wooden
She
slab.
was like these eyes like darting, like, I totally believe you.
All right, so what's the plan?
God bless my mom. We gotta go to we gotta go see if we can find Sam Valheim.
Yep. Let's go.
Okay. You guys pass through the remainder of the Cataract District. It's really not far to kind of this long stone causeway that stretches from the Council District down into the Cataract District. And the Council District actually sits on a large acropolis in this part of the city. And so you know that there's this large stone causeway that goes down into the Cataract District, but otherwise the only way up is a series of small, like very small spiral staircases all the way on the other side, down on Lakeside. But you guys make it to this causeway and you can see all the way up at the top, kind of the gates into the Council District are firmly shut. And there are recognizable city guard on the wall that kind of surrounds the Acropolis at the top. And you guys walk up the causeway. About 60 feet away, you hear a voice called down to you, kind of from the top. Halt and state your business. You can see a figure at the top of the wall, metal cap on, number of crossbows, not leveled at you, but at the ready. You can see about 6 or 7 other people along the wall nearby.
Clients of the Councillor Sam Vilhane requesting to speak with him.
You wouldn't believe how many times that's been tried. The councillor has no clients.
Extremely rude. First of all.
Happy Squad, what's left of it. We would be in his records.
A pause. I have no record that the Councillor Sam Vilhane has any living clients.
Well, yeah, we disappeared for a while because, you know, that's what happens when you go on adventures for people and get paid to do it.
We may have been declared dead. We are willing to prove ourselves.
You have paperwork?
Leah had that.
Leah had it. We sent another member ahead of us with the papers. She can vouch for us if she is here.
Name?
Talia Rusandal.
A moment of silence. A minute passes. A couple minutes pass. No.
The tail.
She says, but dad.
He comes
What?
over and ducks under my mic and then like starts trying to play with me, and it's just like
No.
A good 10 minutes goes by before he comes back, and you hear, "What are your names?"
I am Mrs. Vera Mayweather. Amanya, I can't pronounce your last name. What's your last name?
Delor.
Almania Commandalor. And assorted friends. I'm afraid we are all that is left of our original party.
Vera Mayweather, Almania Kolmavdalor step forward.
We step forward, or I step forward.
Rin
Show
is
me
like
your-
right on Vera's heels, by the way.
Yeah.
You need to step back.
I'm her bodyguard.
You need to step back.
It's all right, Karina. Can you promise our friends safety? Can they at least come in for sanctuary?
We're not going to shoot him, but they need to stay on the causeway.
Okay.
So Damya, Ritza, and Shoji, and Constantine. Good grief. You guys have a bunch of NPCs with you. and Rin all kind of stay back. Vera Mayweather and Almania Kolmavdalor, show me your elbows, your ankles, and your knees. Okay.
You and me, Mary.
Vera Mayweather, are you infected with the Red Harvest, or have you had contact with anyone who is?
No.
Step forward to the gate. You do not match any existing description of Almania Kolmavdalor. Who are you?
There was some problems along the way, but I am Almania Kalmabdalur.
She was turned into a bird by a witch.
There was magic in there was powerful magic involved. Very powerful magic.
Karina, roll a deception check.
Guidance.
I'll drop inspiration on you too, if that helps.
Actually, I have an inspiration, so I'm just going to roll it twice.
Please tell me that the raven is still there and be like, that one too.
Rin, real quick. I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, Rin, does guidance have a somatic?
Yes, it does. I won't do it.
Okay.
So that's a 16.
Total of 16.
That's
Yep.
pretty good. Rogues, y'all.
There's a moment of silence. A minute passes.
I mean, it's technically true.
Kind of true.
All right, Almania, step forward to the gate.
I do.
Almania and Vera, the gates are opened for you, and you are ushered inside. And the gates are closed behind you.
Okay, real quick before we split up, let's say Rin would shout this across to Vera. Do you want us to take Damnia to where she needs to go and come back for you later?
Damya, does that sound right for you? Do you feel there are enough of you?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Wait.
Go. Yes.
All right. So is Rin and company headed off towards Bedraggled Cross?
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good use of time.
True.
All right.
As long as you don't all die. Don't die. I'm actually gonna yell out the gate, okay, don't die.
I just flip you off.
All
Okay,
right.
Rude.
Dying is a sore subject for her right now because apparently once you do it, it doesn't stick.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a little rough. I've been resurrected twice by two different people.
You guys enter the council district, and as far as you can tell, up here, it looks more or less like it always did. The guards here still look a little bit gaunt, and there are some dark circles under eyes here and there, but they are moving with energy. It maybe a little bit frenetic energy, but energy. There's no, like, they're not standing there with dead looks in their eyes. And the district itself looks untouched. Large mansions, all of their well-kept, flowers and whatnot are all in full bloom. Fruit trees in the yards. And just a couple of guards are dispatched to kind of walk with you as you head towards Samvelhain's house.
Vera's mad at seeing this. They're keeping the flowers.
As you guys get to Samvelhain,
California in a drought, where all of like the really nice houses in California in the drought were like very lush, very pretty.
Yeah. They were still sprinkling it, yeah.
Vera, You have a very high passive perception. You do notice there is fog or mist anywhere that there is shadows. There is fog or mist that has lingered much later into the morning than you expect it should have, especially considering that it has not rained recently. But you guys continue to Sam Velhaines, and standing at the entrance to his yard, and his hedge is well trimmed and kept. You can see kind of past the guards. There was a garden that was being put in, roughly a year ago, and that is in full bloom, but with many exotic plants that you have never seen before.
Interesting.
Standing at the entrance are figures that are quite familiar to you guys at this point. Very tall, very imposing looking, heavily armored, fully helmeted, closed visored guards.
Oh my gosh. Are
Very
these
pikes.
Are they the same as the guys in Vreem that we were talking about? Weren't we talking about that? No, it wasn't in Vreem. We were talking to somebody.
It
Was yeah. Weren't we talking about? Didn't I just say something about like earlier in this session about how like, man, if we had like automated suits of armor, like, wouldn't that be nice? We wouldn't have to like.
I don't think they're constructs.
Are
But
these?
that's what Rin brought up, because that's what she knows.
Rin had mentioned that back home in the Combine, constructs are used as to maintain order.
Is this similar?
You have never been to the Combine. In your previous experiences here, you've heard them speak in a humanoid-sounding voice.
Right.
Do they look like?
And then Vera was chased halfway around the district one time.
Yes, that was about to ask. And these are the guys who had that weird affect.
Yeah, they're that weird monotone. Remember? They looked like they looked like they were bewitched or enchanted or something.
Yeah, there was some massively reduced reaction time. Like delayed reactions.
They're on a delay, like a lag.
Yeah, there was definitely something very strange.
Glitch in the matrix.
Also, like the guard was just doing that at the gates too. So.
What was that, Jenny?
I said the guard was also just doing that at the gate. So.
Oh, I figured that he was like back and sending messengers to like talk to people, and then they'd come back and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, like this is the news."
He wasn't standing there looking at you in silence for 10 minutes. He disappeared and then came back. Yeah,
that's what I assumed. Yeah.
As you guys approach the guards, what do you do?
Hi, remember us?
The two guardsmen who walked you here have now split off. So, Elmania, you walk up and say that?
Yes, hello, do you remember me? Actually, that's a bad question. I don't look anything like I used to. Do you remember her? And I like point at Vera.
Talia Rusandal.
Yes. You are free to approach the house. You are welcome as guests.
Damn. Let's go.
Thank you. And I will walk past them and go into the house.
Me too.
I will have an eye on them though, because they creeped me out from last time.
Are you
they also
walking
tried to kill me.
Literally sideways so that you can?
No, I'm just like side-eyeing them as I go by.
All right. You walk up to the house, and just as you get to it, the door opens to reveal. And I realized at some point that I've changed his name almost every time I've said it, and I'm gonna.
Artyom Sam Velhaine.
It's
Rufus.
It's Rufus is the name in my head. Yeah, Rufus, the unusual halfling. The door swings open before you, and standing in the doorway is the familiar form of Rufus, the unusually tall halfling, dressed in ornate, brocaded kind of doublet on top, and just wonderful, rich clothing.
It looks like his name originally was Roscoe.
Roscoe. Rufus Roscoe. Yeah, I mixed it up at some point.
His name is Rufus Roscoe. It's his first name, last name. Problem solved.
Yes.
Rufus Roscoe. Roscovus. Anyway, welcome to the house of Samvelhain. It has been some time. Come in. He gestures you into the house.
It's good to see you, Rufus. Talia, our friend, is she here?
She is. Would you like to see her?
Please, yes.
Can I take your shoes? Would you like to bathe first?
Yes, a bath would be incredible.
I will very happily remove my shoes, and Amania, please go bathe. But I would like to see Talia first, and then, as you please.
Indeed, I don't mean to be rude, but you do seem to have been traveling for quite some time.
I'm literally bleeding right now.
There is like dry,
Drip.
crusted blood all across. We can get you. Of course, you may see your friend Talia, but before I bring you before the Lord Samvelhain, would you consider bathing? I know you have refused in the past, but it would be polite.
Perhaps instead of the delay, may I trouble you for a I will change my clothes happily, very quickly. Do you have somewhere I can slip in? I have changes of clothes in my bag.
Yes, but in your current state, you would soil them.
Take a bath, Vera. It can be 5 minutes. Just throw yourself in some water, scrub some soap on. You're good.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Like I will go in and I will like scrub my face and hands.
All right. Your shoes are taken and immediately cleaned. They're right in front of you and placed very neatly by the doorway. Almania, you are led to a bathtub. Rufus is a little bit confused, and kind of as servants are coming in, pouring boiling water into the copper basin, he's kind of looking at you, reaches out, and if I may.
Yeah.
And kind of like runs his hand through some of your feathers, like rolls over the cart filled with like lotions and oils and you have flight capabilities.
No, unfortunately not. I've never tried gliding though. Maybe gliding, possibly, but I haven't been on top of anything big enough to glide yet. So, no.
It doesn't look like you have any wings of any sort. So gliding, unlikely. Do you have? Can you do this real quick? Okay, nothing. Okay. Do you float unusually well?
Do I float unusually well, Josh?
We all float here.
You've probably been in water at some point. No, not really.
Not really? Okay. No, unfortunately, I don't seem to have the hollow bones that most birds do. Or air-filled bones, I apologize.
Well, about the floating, it's more about the oil in your feathers. If you do not float unusually well, then none of these should hurt you. So, take your pick, whatever smells loveliest to you. I will take my leave, and you can.
Like I have not like had a bath in like months. I am so I know we're at a time crunch, but man, let me have this one luxury in my life. I just need this one thing.
You luxuriate in your bath with
I
oils.
smell like kids and roses, and I have like all of these lovely like oils for my feathers, and I feel so good for like the first time in a very long time.
When you're finished, you are carefully like dabbed dry, and a new set of clothes is brought to you, just a full new set. You were wearing leather armor, correct?
Yeah.
It's the magic leather armor.
It is magical. Okay. Rufus takes kind of the bundle of your old clothes. Your leather armor has been polished and cleaned. Can I burn these? Do you mind?
What's he holding?
Just the bundle of your old clothing, like your tunic and your pants and your yeah.
They survived a lot. Burn them.
Excellent. This new set is yours.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate this.
I'll say it was difficult to pick something that matched the black feathering with the multi, like the rainbow colors at the top, but I think this should work. And you are given and dressed in a very nice muted colored set of clothing, tunic, pants.
I appreciate aesthetic choices. Deeply appreciate him and his understanding of aesthetics.
Vera, you are given a wash basin.
I'm so mad. Yes.
You
I'm mad
scrub
at them,
yourself.
like, people are starving, you people.
Yeah, I mean, you're also presented with the full rack of lotions and oils and
I just
soap.
like raise an eyebrow at it.
And then you are left.
You see me, I would smell like orchids and roses and like every imaginable flower and just be like, look, man, I know there might be some moral problems or ethical issues with this, but I just desperately needed a bath.
You are then left alone. You scrub yourself clean. A new set of clothes is left there for you.
Nope. I'm changing into my other one of my dresses that I made out of the wizard's shirts.
Yes.
All right.
Which I was wearing this whole time, by the way. I was wearing one of them. Or I would wash them and do
It's
different
really
ones.
nice material. So actually, yeah. All right, you just change into another one. Rufus gives you kind of the hairy eyeball, but lets it pass.
And I just say to Rufus's face, I've seen people starve today. My own clothes will do.
He says nothing and leads you into the familiar waiting room that has large, luxurious armchairs, couches, etc. You can see the large double doors into the kitchen and another set into the dining room. And he gestures you towards any of the seating. I will bring her shortly. And he leaves. And a few moments later, Talia, dressed in fine, decent, sturdy, but very well-made clothing, walks into the room. And we will go ahead and pause there
No.
next
No.
week, 10 after.
Okay, it's 10 after 11.
Curse you.
Ah,
I had a bath. I'm clean. I have new clothes. I am so happy.
thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We will hopefully be back next week, and we'll see you then. Until then, we have stuff that I've now saved to my desktop so that I don't forget it. Here we
But it's
go.
so much better when you do.
When I just try to stumble my way through it.
It's great.
We hope to see you again next Friday for when it gets even worse. In the meantime, join Becca and crew as they continue their adventures through Call of Cthulhu horror on the Orient Express. Also, please, we invite you to follow and subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels or visit our website at iconicproduction.wordpress.com. No, Iconic Production. Yeah, that word, I did it,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
Where you can follow us on social media, discover a lineup of podcasts, including other real actual play shows like this one, or support us on Patreon. Thank you all so much. Until next week, we hope you stay happy, healthy, and safe. Have a wonderful evening, or because this is recorded.